in Bowser's castle in real life.
It's crazy because whenever you come to a theme park, it's all about the rides, right? And this land, Super Nintendo World, it's all about Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
The main attraction here at Super Nintendo World, and we could probably do a whole video on just this place. I mean, we're about to walk through Bowser's home.
We're gonna need one of these, the visor.
Wow.
So, thank you very much, sir. Let's try one of these.
Like a Mario hat. Yes.
This one fits me nicely. How does it feel?
It's a me. Oh, I think we're about to go. We're gonna cut to generic B-roll of the ride because we can't film it because it's an AR experience. You can't capture that on camera.
That's right. There we have it. We did it. We raced. Thank you.
We did lose.
No, please
We did
stop.
lose.
I appreciate it.
We lost.
Appreciate it.
Bowser won. You can lose in this ride.
But you'd never really lose if you get to do Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
But we did actually lose. Team Bowser did win.
That's true.
There is skill involved.
There is quite a bit of skill. You actually do a lot of the aiming of your items using your visor. It's really very cool. So if you're going to make a visit here to the Mushroom Kingdom, you have to see the stars of the show. That's right, Mario, Luigi. It is a pleasure to see you, sir.
Luigi just said hello to me.
I know, you should be so proud.
Guys, it's not Super Nintendo World without Mario and Luigi.
I am having so much fun. Can I high five you?
Wow, you guys high five. Wow.
Oh! So when you've actually got your appetite being here in Super Nintendo World, you're going to find yourself here at Toadstool Cafe.
We are very full. Everything was delicious.
We made an effort to try every single thing that we were presented.
But for things that we recommend, the Luigi chicken sandwich with the bell pepper was very good.
But also the short rib was excellent.
I'm gonna lick this clean after we finish rolling. We are here at the One-Up Factory gift shop.
No, we are just checking out some of the coolest things in the gift shop. Now, I wasn't aware, but did you know Bowser was an oil tycoon?
He currently is. But I want to show you some really cool exclusive merch you can get. I love the Yoshi stacking game. It's $35 US, and what a great way to be able to collect every single Yoshi color in one go. Look at the back of it, kind of showing how the game works. Again, this is exclusive to Super Nintendo World, so I think I'm gonna have to actually buy this while we're shooting this video.
All right, well, you make your way over to the register while I show off this Chef Toad figure. Now, they have figures of Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, but also Chef Toad, and I feel like I had to pay homage to the amazing lunch we had with this incredible Chef Toad figure. Collectible, exclusive here.
I love that. But Ben, how are we gonna carry all of these things out the door?
No way, there's no way we can do it.
Mario Kart backpack, that's right. And look at this, it's a real seatbelt.
Ah!
Safety first.
Click it or ticket, throw all your items in this bag, and let's get out of here.
All right, I can take this, right? I don't have to pay for it? So what did you think of Super Nintendo World?
You can let us know in the comments and like and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch. Well, I think this is the warp pipe out of here, so...
You go straight to the parking lot?
Well, that's convenient at least.
All right.
Do we need to get validated?
Oh, I think I saw a Shy Guy doing validation.
Hey there!
It's me!
It's me also! We just got to visit the Mushroom Kingdom for real.
That's right, Super Nintendo World was amazing. I felt like I actually warped into a Mario game.
And as you might guess, this place is full of tons of little details meant to make fans happy.
So let's run them down. Here are the 10 coolest things we found at Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Never thought I'd say this, but we are here in Bowser's castle in real life.
The cool thing when you walk into the ride, you are greeted with basically Yoshi's Island. You hear Yoshi's story, like music, and then you kind of start to go through the queue.
Yeah, and then once you get upstairs to the top floor of the queue, you'll see a giant Bowser statue that greets you.
Yeah, it's Bowser's castle. You kind of walk through his workshop. You see blueprints of bullet bills. It's actually quite terrifying. But you go through the line and then you're doing a Mario Kart race.
Super Nintendo World, it's all about Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
The main attraction here at Super Nintendo World, and we could probably do a whole video on just this place. I mean, we're about to walk through Bowser's home.
everyone versus Bowser. And so you suit up, which is just putting on a headset.
Yeah, so they have a visor, and then once you get onto the ride, you will actually clip in magnetically a plastic AR goggles that will attach to the visor. We're gonna need one of these, the visor.
Wow.
So, thank you very much, sir. Let's
And
try
it's
one of
shaped
these.
like a Mario hat. Yes.
This one fits me nicely. How does it feel?
It's a me. Oh, I think we're about to go. We're gonna cut to generic B-roll of the ride because we can't film it because it's an AR experience. You can't capture that on camera.
That's right.
The actual ride itself had very cool set pieces, like actual real like piranha plans, like very kind of big, but I was more focused on like the actual virtual 2D racers that I am supposed to aim and hit shells with. But I was like, wait, I actually want to see the actual ride part, but you don't have time to do it.
But depending on how you do on the ride will determine if you win or lose, and you can lose. And of course, we lost. There we have it. We did it. We raced. Thank you.
We did
Thank
lose.
You. No, please
We did
stop.
lose.
I appreciate it.
We lost.
appreciate it.
Bowser
Right.
won. You
Right.
can lose in this ride.
But you'd never really lose if you get to do Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
But
Really?
we did actually lose.
This is why I say you have real Bowser energy.
What are you talking
Because
about?
you're evil. So if you're gonna make a visit here to the Mushroom Kingdom, you have to see the stars of the show. That's right, Mario, Luigi. It is a pleasure to see you, sir.
Luigi just said hello to me.
I know, you should be so proud.
Guys, it's not Super Nintendo World without Mario and Luigi.
I am having so much fun. Can I high five you?
Wow, you guys high
thank
five.
you.
Wow.
Oh! So when you've actually got your appetite being here in Super Nintendo World, you're gonna find yourself here at Toadstool Cafe.
My favorite part of Super Nintendo World was the food. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
Yeah, it's just like, and you know, like theme park food, say what you want about theme park food. It could be good, it could be bad. It's good for what it is, blah, blah, blah. Guys, the food at Toadstool Cafe is actually really good.
We are very full. Everything was delicious.
We made an effort to try every single thing that we were presented.
But for things that we recommend, the Luigi chicken sandwich with
Yes.
the bell pepper was very good.
But also the short rib was excellent.
I'm gonna lick this clean after we finish rolling.
So to make the most of your experience when you're here in the Super Nintendo World is you're gonna wanna get one of these, one of the power-up bands. We've both got Mario, but you've got Luigi, Peach, Yoshi.
Daisy, Toad.
Thank you for finishing them off. Yeah, they interact with all kinds of touch points around the park. So, for example,
All the coins that you collect in the park when you're hitting question blocks, they're saved on the power band, and the power bands have a QR code that you can pair with your Universal Studios app. You can bring those coins to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch, which is crazy.
but we were hitting question mark blocks, collecting our coins.
Yeah.
We were revealing hidden characters around Bowser's Castle and elsewhere in the world.
Yeah,
It
there was like a little Mario thing. You kind of put it near it, and then it appears like Mario or Peach or Bowser, and it's magic. I like, wait, where's the projector? Like, it's very cool, and like, I mean, kids are gonna love it. I loved it.
Yeah, it's a great accessory, and kids are going to love it even after. And possibly, if you want to keep making return visits to the park, that is something you're going to want to keep.
We are here at the One Up Factory gift shop.
No, we are just checking out some of the coolest things in the gift shop. Now, I wasn't aware, but did you know Bowser was an oil tycoon?
He currently is. But I want to show you some really cool exclusive merch you can get. I love the Yoshi stacking game. It's $35 US, and what a great way to be able to collect every single Yoshi color in one go. Look at the back of it, kind of showing how the game works. Again, this is exclusive to Super Nintendo World, so I think I'm gonna have to actually buy this while we're shooting this video.
All right, well, you make your way over to the register while I show off this Chef Toad figure. Now, they have figures of Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, but also Chef Toad, and I feel like I had to pay homage to the amazing lunch we had with this incredible Chef Toad figure. Collectible, exclusive here.
I love that. But Ben, how are we gonna carry all of these things out the door?
No way. There's no way we can do it.
Mario Kart backpack. That's right. And look at this. It's a real seatbelt.
Ah!
Safety first.
Click it or ticket. Throw all your items in this bag and let's get out of here.
All right, I can take this, right? I don't have to pay for it? Hey, Ben.
Yeah. yeah.
You remember those old-timey viewfinder things you'd put a quarter in?
I do.
Well, guess what? Super Nintendo World has one of these right here in Frosted Glacier, which you guys can't see, but we are here.
It's just one of the many discoverable areas here at Super Nintendo World. Now, although this is not necessarily like a telescope or binoculars, there is a camera, and it is providing an AR of the land where we can see additional characters.
And there's a lot of Koopas flying around. There's a Chain Chomp. There's a red Yoshi in the background. Like, they are real. Yoshis are real.
One of the coolest things you'll notice when you're in the park is all the awesome Nintendo music that is just playing in all the different attractions.
Yeah, the attention to detail is really good. I mean, there are some deep cuts. We walked into the Bowser's Challenge ride, and I heard Yoshi's story from Nintendo 64. When we were eating at Toadstool Cafe, I heard the theme for Super Mario Galaxy. I really wish you guys could hear the music. You guys just gotta come to Universal Studios Hollywood. Come meet us. We're here always.
No, that is not true.
I want to be here always.
But having never seen anything from like the Mario world in real life, what we can say about this park is it's authentic.
So what did you think of Super Nintendo World?
You can let us know in the comments and like and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch. Well, I think this is the warp pipe out of here, so...
You go straight to the parking lot?
Well, that's convenient at least.
All right.
Do we need to get validated?
Oh, I think I saw a Shy Guy doing validation.
Admiral on the bridge. And Captain on the bridge.
You will probably find this inspection boring for the likes of you two.
Boring?
Well, we won't be blowing things up. Taking or engaging in fire, crash landing expectedly or unexpectedly.
Those were the days.
There is something coming.
Battle stations.
Some kind of attack. And Starfleet could be the target.
There's a darkness. An all-consuming darkness.
And it is getting stronger.
Jean-Luc, trust no one.
Jean-Luc Picard. We will have vengeance.
You and I have traveled to the far reaches of space. But something's different now. This is the end, my friend.
Geordie!
Such pathetic old warriors. I, too, was once irrational, violent.
Is anybody you know still the person you knew?
This is life or death.
It's always life or death, Jean-Luc. When has it not been?
With each ticking moment, I will take another piece of you.
Battle stations! Jean-Luc!
Survival. It's human nature, pal.
We fight or we die.
Close it!
Gun it! I need you. All of you.
We're with you. Always.
Engage. Will, are you enjoying this?
Of course not. Are you?
Medic!
Oh, Jesus. What is that?
Beth, we should go.
Millions of dollars worth of cocaine fell from the sky this morning in Knoxville, Tennessee.
There's more of this out there. They dumped it somewhere.
I'm looking for my daughter.
Forest is a dangerous place.
Hey, Henry, check it out. Something got into it. A deer, maybe.
A lot of cocaine was lost. I need you to go and get it.
No, don't eat that, don't eat that.
Let's see what kind of effect that has on you.
The bear. It fucking did cocaine. A bear did cocaine.
There was a bear.
A bear?
It was Thor.
Hey, that's inappropriate.
You're safe. Bears can't climb trees.
Of course I can.
Oh, shit. It kind of seems like the thing that stays with a man forever.
Apex predator. High on cocaine. Out of his mind. Oh man, you fucked.
What the fuck is wrong with that bear? Shoot it, man! Bear, speed up!
Higher, baby, and don't ever come down.
We have such good luck in nature.
You're a symbol. I'm the Sun Summoner.
Are you willing to sacrifice that which is most precious to you?
So, Thor, tell me about this dish. Did you eat it a lot when you were alive?
In my family, we would eat his last meal before my father would ride off into battle. But one spring, father did not return. And we never eat testicles again.
Oh, Thor. I wish I could try them. What do they taste like?
Truth is, been so long, Thor not remember what they taste like. It's just sad for Thor that this memory is lost.
I have an idea. Sam could try them and describe them to us.
Yes, Sam, please. In memory of my father, try the testicles.
Jay, the ghosts are asking if you could eat some of the dish and describe it to them.
Isn't that something you could do?
Yeah, any person, okay?
What? Women aren't allowed? That's so unfair, but also out of respect to your culture, okay?
Fine.
Well?
Yeah, it's not great. Why is it so chewy?
Yes, all coming back to Thor. This is very special moment.
Oh, Thor, I love this side of you.
Oh God, the cab just enhances the flavor. Oh, this is a disastrous pairing.
That's him. My father. What secrets did he take to his grave?
Glad you came back, my beautiful canvas.
Your father's ego has suffered more than we anticipated. yourself. Benedict.
Holy Aureus, giver of life and light. In your divine radiance, we trust. Shield our souls with grace, our hearts with hope, and guide our path eternal. Turn our gaze from what lies beyond your luster, where wickedness dwells and the shadows reign. Arm us with your golden splendor, so that together may we vanquish the darkness. In light, we walk. The Lords of the Fallen.
お前と同じ真っ先に死ぬタイプだぜ。
まさか弾切らしてたんだった。嘘でしょ。弾、誰か弾を22口径の弾持ってる人、誰かどうして誰も助けないんです？受け取ってください。ローザさんからです。
We rebels who defied heaven with arms fell headlong from ethereal skies, hurled, vanquished into a dim abyssal gulf. We, forsaken, forever condemned to taste burdened air and churning ash, racked for eternity with obdurate pride and steadfast hate. We, who chose never to yield or submit, strived to make a heaven of hell. We raised our great capital, Pandemonium, from which his dark majesty ruled, till vanished he did from his infernal throne. From our strongholds deep we now rage against one another, each fixing our plans upon the throne. Here, at last, I shall be free. To reign is worth ambition, though in this place of darkness made visible, better to rule in hell than serve in heaven.
Rated everyone 10 and up. Rated T for teen.
Hello, caller. You're live on the stream with me, Forrest Nash.
There's a guy hunting me and my friends. I think he's killed some of them already.
Sheriff Matthews is dead. You're the only person with experience manning a phone line around here.
Well, I'll do what I can.
The creep's looking through the parking lot trying to find me. How do I start this baby?
Unscrew the steering column. Virginia, what's the name of the frat?
It's... Oh, God. I can't think. I can't. I need that code to get inside.
The code is 311212.
All right, Nash. Where do I need to go?
You're moving to the kitchen.
Son of a... Follow the maps. Find the tapes. I'll be waiting.
This is IGN FanFest 2023.
A bear did cocaine!
A celebration of all things gaming, movies, TV, and most importantly, you, the fans. For the next few hours, we'll be getting answers to your burning questions from the stars of the hugest upcoming films, like Scream 6.
We share a certain history.
Cocaine Bear, and Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves.
Okay, chop it off.
Chop it off. Let's do it.
We'll be getting a sneak peek at what's new in Star Trek Picard and Young Rock.
Want to get into the business?
And showcasing some never-before-seen gameplay from Redfall, The Elder Scrolls Online, Lies of P, and tons more.
Hit the street.
But first, it's time to raise a little hell. Here's the exclusive world premiere of Diablo 4's opening cinematic. Day 2 of FanFest starts right now.
Sanctuary was never meant for humankind. It was forged as a refuge from the war between the high heavens and the burning hells. Instead, it became a new battleground in this eternal conflict. A secretive group called the Haradrim has kept mortals safe. But now this once powerful order is a husk of what it was. And Sanctuary's ancient creators have returned to claim the hearts of humankind. This is the story of their downfall.
Hello everybody and welcome to IGN FanFest. I'm Akeem Lawanson here with Damon Hatfield and Alex Stedman, and you just got an exclusive first look at the intro cinematic for Diablo 4. But there's more where that came from, and in just a minute we have some big news from the game's director.
But FanFest is way more than just Diablo. For the next 3 hours, we're bringing you a non-stop celebration of the biggest names in games and entertainment, and it's all powered by you, the fans.
FanFest 2023 is jam-packed with never-before-seen gameplay, trailers, and interviews with people making the coolest stuff on Earth, and we brought them all together in one great place just for you.
And we've got some awesome goodies as a thank you for watching. Now, throughout FanFest, we'll be giving away tons of free game codes in the chat, so keep an eye out for that because it's first come, first serve. Now, of course, friendly reminder, you can also get free games by signing up for IGN Rewards.
If you want a recap of any of the amazing moments from today's show, check out IGN on TikTok for more. If any of the games we showed off caught your eye, you can find them all on IGN's Steam page.
In just a bit, we'll be checking out the open world co-op shooter REDFALL, along with the upcoming action horror Souls-like Lies of P.
And we'll also be hanging out with the absolute maniacs responsible for Cocaine Bear, Scream 6, and Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves.
And if you're looking for big shows to binge, we're sitting down with the folks behind Star Trek Picard, Young Rock, and Trigun Stampede.
If that Diablo 4 cinematic left you wanting more, don't move a muscle, because we've got some inside info on what's new in Blizzard's long-awaited sequel in this beloved series. Check it out.
I'm Ryan McCaffrey, one of IGN's biggest Diablo fans. I am extraordinarily excited for Diablo 4, and I am very pleased to be joined right now here at IGN FanFest by Joe Shelley, the game director on Diablo 4. Joe, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, Joe, Diablo cinematics, we're no stranger to them being beautiful from the Blizzard cinematics team, but you've got a new trick up your sleeve this time. Your actual custom-created character is in the cinematics. Can you please tell us how that came to be?
Yeah, that's right. So we knew that in Diablo 4, we wanted to offer much more character customization than we'd offered in previous Diablo titles. The artists did such a great job. The characters look so incredible, close up, from all different camera angles, that we knew that they needed to be part of the actual cinematics that you're experiencing, right? So as you're playing through the campaign, you're going through a mix of gameplay to conversations with NPCs to dynamic combat moments. And part of that is these cinematics where story takes place, right? And so we thought it was incredibly important for the character that you create, your character who is actually taking part in all of this action, to be featured in the cinematics. And so we were able to, fortunately, with our engine and our tools and our artists coming together, especially our lighting team, really knocked it out of the park. We were able to get the cinematics to incorporate your character in a way that feels totally fluid. So, you're playing the game and you're seeing yourself right there with those characters as the story is playing out.
And what's wild about it to me, as somebody that's been playing games my whole life, like we've gotten used to seeing our characters customized how we have them in-engine cinematics, but this looks like it's all pre-rendered, like it's your character in a Blizzard game cinematic, which did you guys have to invent some new tools for this, or is there some magic sauce here?
We did, yeah. It's part of the engine that runs Diablo 4, and the art team really just delivered in an incredible way, from the lighting and the scenes to all of the props and the environments. I think it looks phenomenal, and I can't wait for players to check it out.
Now, story-wise, no surprise that cutscene kind of sets up a pretty bleak game, but story is something, at least from my experience in the press beta back in December, you guys seem like you're really doubling down, making an extra conscious effort with story compared to, I guess just the most recent Diablo mainline game, Diablo 3. Can you kind of speak to that for a minute about just the real focus that the team clearly has on story here?
We are, yeah. With Diablo 4, we really wanted to take our storytelling in the Diablo series to the next level. The Diablo world, the world of Sanctuary, all of the lore of Diablo is so rich and so interesting that we really felt like we could spend more time telling interesting stories. And one of the things that Diablo 4 does in particular is that it tells stories about people who are living in the world of Sanctuary, right? Obviously, there are angels with Inarius, and there are demons, and there are these supernatural forces that exist in this world, but characters of Sanctuary are the most interesting ones to follow, and you'll be right there along with them, both through the campaign, which is quite extensive, 30 hours or more of gameplay for players. There's tons of side quests that build out the world even more and really put a lot of effort into Diablo 4, more effort than we've ever done before.
You can probably guess what I'm going to ask you next, because it's not often that we get to talk to you. We got a release date at the Game Awards, and thus the next natural question, do you want to ask it for me right here and then go ahead and answer it?
Since we announced that we would be doing a beta for Diablo 4. People have been asking, when is the beta? I think someone asked me, what is my favorite beta date? As a way to try to get an answer. And I'm incredibly excited because we're going to announce it today, right now. Now, remember, of course, that the game itself is coming out on June 6th, and you're going to be able to play the beta on March 17th through March 19th, so that weekend, if you've pre-ordered, right?
Yeah.
That is going to get access to the early access beta. Now, everyone in the world will be able to play it on March 24th through March 26th, so the following weekend there. So pre-order, you're going to get an access to an extra weekend, and everyone gets to play the weekend after.
And then if you're in that early access weekend, does everything get wiped and you're going to start over during that open weekend, or is everything, do you get preserved for that following weekend?
No, it'll carry over between weekends, but
Nice.
obviously the character progress during the beta will get wiped before release. We want
Right.
everyone to start with a fair playing field, and of course, it's going to be available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation systems. And the beta itself, it's quite extensive. It's quite a significant look at the game, right? So it is limited by that period of time, right? Like the servers will shut down at the end of that time.
Yeah.
But there's no time limit within the game. You can level all the way up to 25, which is a quarter of the way to the level cap of 100 in the full game. You'll be able to play all the way through the prologue. You'll be able to play through Act 1, which takes place in Fractured Peaks, one of our 5 areas in the game. And you'll be able to play through all of the campaign and side quests that exist in that area. So there's quite a lot to check out.
Oh, love hearing that. Now, in my experience covering games for a long, long time now, a lot of times when we see these betas nowadays, they take place like the month before release at the earliest, and they're kind of more like, for all intents and purposes, demos. But you're actually leaving enough time here to incorporate actual player feedback, given that you're doing this in March. So what are some of the things that you're going to be watching for when players get their hands on the beta, and how much actual meaningful feedback do you expect to incorporate into the final game?
This beta is happening far enough ahead of launch, and there are 2 reasons to do that. One, of course, we want to test our server infrastructure. We want to make sure that the game is actually ready for everyone to play at launch. We want everyone to have the best experience possible at launch. And 2, it's another opportunity to test our game's balance, right? So we're going to be able to look at data from this, even though it's an early look. Players aren't going to be experiencing the end game in this beta. It will give us valuable information for class balance, valuable information for how fun various quests are. We've got more information about the details of the beta. I touched on them a little bit, but if you tune in on February 28th, we're going to be doing our second developer live stream. And so we'll have more information about the beta then.
Excellent. All right, Joe, so we are just about a month away. Is there anything else about this beta coming up that we should know, that we should be on the lookout for when we play it?
We were talking about the cinematic, the opening cinematic earlier, which features your character, but you should know that there are a bunch of those in the game, and you're going to get to see a number of them during the beta. So that's not the only one, and there's some really cool stuff in there.
Well, Joe, I don't know if I'll get to talk to you again before you ship this game, so thank you in advance to you and the team for pushing hard in the final stretch, because it's, for me personally, I've been playing Diablo since the first game, which makes me old. But I had like I told you earlier, I had an absolute blast. Like, I was trying to explain it to somebody of why this game feels good and feels like Diablo 2 kind of good. And I can't quite explain why, which is not great because it's my job to explain why. But you're clearly on the right path for me. So thanks for the next 4-5 months of what I'm sure will be super hard work, because I can't wait to play the final game.
Well, I appreciate it. Fixing bugs and getting the game ready. So we're just as excited to get it out and to have people get the chance to play all the work the team's been working on.
That was Diablo 4. Now, if you're more interested in slaying vampires than demons, please stick around, because coming up, we're checking out Redfall. IGN FanFest will continue after this break.
IGN FanFest is brought to you by PlayStation 5, bringing you the extraordinary. Tune into IGN1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This? This is what to watch here on IGN1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN1.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Wow, I can't wait to see Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. And there's tons more where that came from, so follow IGN on all social channels. We got video game previews, we got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, follow IGN. Whoa!
So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, PowerA, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
I love Splinter Cell. Conviction, which is probably my least favorite in the mainline series, only because it's more of an action game than a stealth game.
But you're right, it is more actiony. And you know what? I like that, Ryan. I think it's cool to have big moments where you can execute everybody in a room.
It's not an action game.
You can bust in, execute everybody in a room
one
that you've marked.
button. I had to stop
And it's
myself from
great.
cursing.
But if you want the Splinter Cell
Look how
experience,
dumb that is.
it's awesome.
I'm Jeffrey Vega, the host of IGN's TikTok. See? That's me. Next episode of The Last of Us. That's my voice. Last year, we had some great moments for gaming, but when I think about all the great games that are coming out this year, I can't wait to see what the gaming community on TikTok will create next. IGN FanFest is presented by TikTok, your unskippable destination for gaming entertainment. Kicking off some of my most highly anticipated titles, Horizon Call of the Mountain is making me seriously consider wanting to get a PSVR 2. Resident Evil 4 is one of the best survival horror games of all time, and is getting a major graphics and gameplay upgrade. Now, if horror games aren't for you, but watching other people play horror games is, be sure to check out TikTok for that and other can't miss gaming moments in 2023. And for fans of one of the best-selling Star Wars games of all time, here comes the squeakquel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Take him out. He's escaping. Just fight me.
And if you can believe it, it's finally happening. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is dropping on the Switch May 12th.
Link, I am not sure you'll be able to stop him.
And on the PS5, we're getting Marvel's Spider-Man 2, a full sequel to one of my favorite games of 2018. Wait, that was 5 years ago? What the hell?
For as long as I can remember, I have looked for an equal. Will one of you finally give me what I desire?
Whoa, wait, where's Starfield? Don't worry, I didn't forget. This first party release coming out on Xbox and PC is 100% on my list. You know I got Game Pass. Do you think 2023 is going to be a good year for gaming? Let me know by sharing your most anticipated games for 2023 by using hashtag Let's Play on TikTok. And I will watch all of those videos with the hashtag Let's Play, so no pressure. I might comment too. Who knows?
His infernal throne lies vacant. All that stands between you and eternal power is hell itself. Use dark rituals to curse your rivals. Torment them with clever insults and demands. Gather your praetors and marshal your infernal legions. Know your enemies and plot their downfall. After all, what is hell but other people?
Howdy, friends. Ryan McCaffrey and Miranda Sanchez from Podcast Unlocked. We are here every Wednesday bringing you all the talk about everything going on in the world of Xbox. One of those big topics of conversation in 2023, Miranda, is REDFALL, a game we are quite excited about. You in particular are very amped for this one.
Yes, absolutely. Vampires slaying with friends in an open world. Sign me up. So this comes out of Arcane, which is a studio that is very storied for excellent stories and excellent world building. They've worked on Dishonored in the past, of course Deathloop, which was a huge game coming out somewhat recently, and of course now their next one is a big open world vampire hunting game. And still, even though it is open world, one of the most exciting things about it is that it does stay true to its Arcane roots of having a solid story.
Yeah, and it seems like it's still got that sort of emergent gameplay that Arcane's known for, where kind of anything can happen and you can approach a situation in any number of different ways, but vampires.
Yes, exactly.
Lots of guns in this one too, compared to other Arcane games, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing that we've learned about it so far, is that every time they do a game, they want to try something different. And I think there's still a lot to learn about here. Obviously, we haven't gotten our hands on it, so we're just kind of going off the promise of their excellent, portfolio of games at this point. But there's still lots to learn about how all these mechanics work together, and of course how they can come together to tell that big story.
Well, let's learn a little bit more right now about REDFALL, courtesy of Podcast Unlock's own Stella Chung, who got to sit down with one of the developers of REDFALL. Let's take a watch.
What is this place? It's like the weirdest dream.
You're not supposed to be here. Hey y'all, I'm Stella Chung, joined by Ben Horn, production director on REDFALL. Ben, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
So we have a lot of burning questions, so I'm just gonna get right into it. During the developer direct, we got a glimpse of what the loot is like in REDFALL. What were some of the considerations taken when implementing a loot-based system, and can you discuss if you were looking at any other looter shooters to draw inspiration from?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we wanted to make a game where players could instantly feel comfortable with some of the pieces of gear and equipment that they were finding. Assault rifles and shotguns, sniper rifles that could all have rarity included in them that unlock traits that allow you to play a little bit differently. But we also wanted to take a unique spin on that by adding vampire hunting weapons into the game. These are like flare guns and stake launchers, UV beams. These help to defeat the vampires in a very unique way, because in REDFALL, vampires can't be defeated by only bullets. They need something special. And so a stake launcher, for instance, can really shoot from a distance and defeat a vampire when they're vulnerable. And that really allows for players to scour the world, look for the weapon that they really want, how they want to play, and allows them to be expressive in that way when taking on the vampire threat.
So not only did you put a lot of thought into that, but also you mentioned it was mentioned in the developer direct that every nook and cranny of the game's playable area was handcrafted. So can you discuss what those might have challenged you, as well as what it meant overall for development?
We had this aspirational goal to deliver the biggest, most ambitious setting that we ever have. And we knew that with that, we wanted to maintain the things about Arcane's DNA that we love. things about our games in the past that we really appreciate. Environmental storytelling, strong kind of narrative throughput in the world so that the world feels lived in, it feels worth saving. And so as we took on this challenge to make such a huge open world, we wanted to make sure that every home that players walked into, a convenience store, had readables. There are thousands and thousands of lines of readables in the game that tell the story of Redfall leading up, the months and weeks and days leading up to the events of Redfall. And we think that's one of the things that sets the game apart. And is something that's really special.
It's hard to see a brand new looter shooter enter the fray without players drawing comparisons to others on the market. So what is Redfall doing for players that set it apart from the competition, for a lack of a better word?
Redfall is a game where players will have the opportunity to really move through the world in a way that they are comfortable with. Players that want to move through the world in a fast-paced, action, guns blazing type of style are certainly going to find that when they play Redfall. Players that take a more stealth, methodical, or observational approach, they're going to find a lot of rewarding play styles coming out of that as well. For instance, in our game, it's not uncommon to hear an explosion in the distance and wonder, okay, what was that? And to go to that area and two factions are fighting one another. And that's not always scripted. Sometimes that just happens systemically in the game. And then you have a choice. Do I jump in the fray? Do I sneak around the side, grab some loot and get out? There's benefits and pros and cons to all of those approaches. We think that's a really compelling way to play a game like this.
So speaking of approaches, I'm actually curious. So why was the idea of a looter shooter implemented instead of a game like Left 4 Dead with survival aspects and modding for replayability?
Yeah, that's a good question. Left 4 Dead is an awesome game, but we wanted to make something different. We wanted to make something that we feel like has the arcane DNA that we've made from games in the past. Games like Dishonored 2, Prey, most recently Deathloop. You could think of all of those games almost like a Venn diagram where they overlap in really key areas or critical areas that we like to tell stories in games, and we like to make games that have a rich, coherent story, systems that players can exploit and they can use to their advantage, maybe in some surprising ways. For Dishonored, we went a little bit stealth, and for Prey, we really focused on physics, and for Redfall, we wanted to focus on the world building. We wanted to focus on that narrative story, and so that's what we're focused on delivering.
Was Redfall always designed to be open world from the beginning, or was there a stage of evolution that led the game to become what it is today?
Yeah, it has always been designed to be open world. In fact, that was one of the exciting parts of starting a game like this. It was something new. I think it's natural to make games, and maybe you've made a few that are in a certain mold, and to want to say, we want to take what we love here and we want to break the mold. Making a large open world game, that was breaking the mold for us.
Your studio is usually not a multiplayer-focused game studio. So how did you guys approach balancing single-player character builds while making them all viable for multiplayer? And why the four-player aspect specifically with Redfall?
That was another part of taking on something new. Was not only can we go bigger, but can we make an experience, an true arcane experience that you can play with your friends? So the focus has been on supporting all of those play styles. When you play single player in Redfall, you are playing by yourself. There's no AI squad mates. And then you can add friends up to a four-player squad. And what we found is as you add more and more of your friends, the game kind of takes on this almost like a party mode when you're playing. There's a lot of fun, a lot of action, a lot of ways that your skills and abilities can play with your squad mates. And it makes for just a really, really great time. But it has been very difficult to be able to strike that balance. Okay. And also when you're playing with friends, you can actually go to the four corners of the map. We don't tether people. So if you wanted to go around and kind of, it's pretty cool. Yeah. When you're in a squad, the trust system gives you kind of a buff of staying together, and it helps you fight the vampires, but you can walk away from one another and you don't have that buff, but you do have the freedom of exploration. You kind of take on different objectives if you'd like. It's a really, really cool system that allows for players to kind of be expressive with how you want to play with your friends. You don't have to just be all locked together if you don't want, but there is a benefit. We encourage people to kind of come together.
So you've specified that Redfall will be more like Far Cry than Left 4 Dead. So how will that be reflected with replayability once players beat the story?
You know, playing Redfall and the experience that is similar, I guess, in other open world experiences is that as you move through the world, there's no loading screens in any of the kind of open world areas, any of the open world maps. You're not loading into anything. You're just able to walk through those seamlessly. And each of those big maps has neighborhoods inside of it. And like we talked about the Developer Direct, players are going to be challenged to find safe houses in those neighborhoods and complete safe house missions to then free that neighborhood and kind of take that back from the vampires. That provides rewards and things for the player that then allow them to be able to advance through the story. And with multiple difficulty modes and kind of choosing when and where you take on certain missions, playing with friends or playing a new hero, trying out a different spec, all of those things add to, I think, a lot of replayability within the game.
Thank you so much for answering all of our burning questions, Ben, and for joining us. We cannot wait to play your game. And speaking of, you'll be able to play Redfall on May 2nd on Xbox and PC.
Something wicked dark is coming.
They took over the hospital almost immediately. Like they planned it.
You sent people to Ava. Folks out there are dead because of what you did.
They took my child.
The sun. Is it only covered up here, or is it dark everywhere else too?
You know what happened at the shelter. You think that can't happen here?
Going up.
Ah, shit.
No!
The whole world is changing, starting with Redfall.
Coast Guard station got taken over pretty quick. Everyone's scattered. We gotta get out there, grab some supplies, and help people get through this mess.
Everybody knows it's over! Everybody except you.
There seem to be warring factions.
There's no way off the island anymore! Redfall belongs to them!
That was a look at Redfall, coming to Xbox Series and PC later this spring. Now, I'm not sure who wished upon a star for a Soulsborne game based on the classic fairy tale of Pinocchio, but great news, your wish came true. Here's Lies of P right here on IGN FanFest.
A fool craves acceptance, and I am no fool. Let the masses chatter their empty praises. They're ignorant of the truth, blind to my vision. Is it not magnificent? This blessing for those who dare seize it. This key to a new paradigm, a new world. This moment to silence the fools forever. This is Ergo. Soon they'll praise me. If they dare speak at all.
IGN FanFest is presented by TikTok. Share your favorite games and all the ways you play this February on TikTok using hashtag Let's Play.
Have you been stuck on the same quest for just way too long?
I just want answers!
IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and of course, free. You can even track your progress with handy checklists if you go for 100% just like we do.
We're gonna be going over some sensitive material.
IGN has the very best, most complete, and accurate guides for God of War Ragnarok, The Witcher 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Genshin Impact, Elden Ring, and so much more.
I will require some time to process this information.
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You underestimate my power!
Don't try it!
Ow!
What the? And that's why we don't play in lava. You were the chosen one!
Wow, I love SpongeBob, and there's so much more where that came from, so follow IGN on all social channels. We've got video game previews, we've got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, what are you doing? Let's follow them.
Behind every game, movie, and TV show you love is a wild, crazy, and sometimes unbelievable story.
No one is just black and white.
From revealing the secrets behind your favorite franchises to solving a legendary video game mystery,
I'm coming for you.
IGN Inside Stories gives you a peek behind the curtain.
If people come to the game now and see what's going on there, I think they'll be surprised.
Join us as we dive into hyper-dedicated fan bases, worldwide phenomenons, and the most incredible untold tales in games and entertainment.
I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound so good.
It was definitely not what I expected in the best way.
Inside Stories, available now only on IGN.
After the end of the Great War, it came to light that atrocities were being committed, not only on the battlefields, but also beyond them. To try and stop the vile endeavor, Ordo Iridei came to being. Not all, however, are willing to be controlled.
The shadows stir in the corners of this place. Your father's ego has suffered more than we anticipated. He's afflicted, riddled with gangrene. I knew all along I was still alive. The shade is so dense, and the madness so fierce, that I can barely hold on, lest they pull me
Welcome back to IGN FanFest. So, true story here. In 1985, an airplane full of drugs crash-landed in front of a black bear who proceeded to dive nose-first into them and go on a violent rampage. Well, okay, some of that is true, but in Cocaine Bear, it doesn't really matter what's real or not because the end result is one violent and hilarious movie about, well, a cocaine bear. Let's check in with the cast of the movie to see how they survived this brutal bear on a blow-fueled bender.
Beth, we should go.
Cinema is a medium where life's greatest questions can be explored. Why are we here? How can we become better as a human race? What would happen if a bear did a ton of coke and went on a rampage in the woods? That's the one we're here to answer today. And I'm so excited to introduce you to the team behind Cocaine Bear, director Elizabeth Banks, and stars Alden Ehrenreich and O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Woo! That's us.
So I have to address the Cocaine Bear in the room.
Sure.
What am I looking at behind O'Shea and Alden?
That's Cokie. That's what we call that bear right there. So Cokie, that is what a lighting reference that Weta Digital Workshop made for our on-set, and so that everybody understood the size of the bear and got a real sense of like, this is what you'd be looking at if you were in the presence of this bear, which every actor in the film does encounter the bear. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Solid.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. And it look, I mean, I've seen the movie. That looks like it does in the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
they really made it to look exactly like it was supposed to look, yeah.
Alden and O'Shea, I have to know, can you tell us what was your reaction when you were pitched on this movie?
I think the reaction is what everybody has, which is like, what? What is that? What does that mean that it's called Cocaine Bear? And there's always this thing of like, well, what's it about? And it's like, it's about a bear that does cocaine. And they're like, but what's it about? And it's like, it's about a bear that does cocaine. But I just really loved my character and really thought the script, like Elizabeth said, like, is this incredible, wild, very original movie and really fun. And then I really wanted to work with EB. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I found out through Twitter that Elizabeth Banks was, taking on this film, and I retweeted it and basically a tweet saying, "Take my money," I'm gonna go see this.
And I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, and so I guess that led to you.
Yeah,
reaching out, and I was like, yeah, you get to work with Elizabeth, and this movie, when you hear this title, it kind of reminds me of the feeling I had. You know what Snakes on a Plane is gonna give. Okay? There's no in between, bro. It's gonna be a gut punch. I'm gonna have a good time.
Well, we had met, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe longer years ago.
Yeah, wow.
And I just sort of fell in love. Like, you're such a doll, and I've been wanting to work with him. And so when he tweeted, I was like, ooh, okay, that piqued my interest.
Yeah,
and
man.
I have this great character that I think he would crush, and he did.
Switching gears slightly, I have to address this because it's a wonderful and bittersweet fact. Sadly, we lost Ray Liotta last year, which he's featured in this movie. He's a huge character in this movie, and he's very good. This is like one of his final performances, if not the last. What was that like, sort of working with him on this movie?
Well, Ray and I had worked together previously a long time ago, and when I read this script, I immediately thought of him for Sid White. And probably him and Margot Martindale were the first two people I was like, this is who should be in this movie, in these two roles. We had a great call, and I love giving, especially really dramatic actors like him, the opportunity to come and just sort of play in a different tone, a different sandbox. I find him to be very charming. And he came to set, I would say, with really joyfully to do the job. He didn't shy away from a single part of it. He shot his final moment in the film on his last day. He wrapped after he shot that, and he gave a really lovely speech to the cast and crew on Wrap. We were all there. And it was really moving. Like, people were in tears, and everybody on set was so excited to be around him. And that's the energy that I hope is conveyed in the movie.
Cocaine Bear herself is a CG creation, of course, but the movie does go all out when it comes to practical gore and injury effects. I mean, all out. How was it blending those on set? Like, how do you recreate that in the moment?
Well, I'm an actor, so I want practical things for the actors to work with. You know, I know how much it helps me as an actor, and it was really important to me. We don't have the lead actor in the movie. We don't have the bear. So everything else, I just felt we should try to make as real as possible for everyone. And so, you know, we didn't shoot in a green box. We were in the real environments. It's kind of old school CG in that way, right? We're just gonna drop the creature into the environment. And so when it came to blood, guts, gore, I love special effects and I love prosthetics. I didn't want a bunch of green socks on people's, you know, parts. I really wanted everyone to be like, oh my God, that's what it would look like. So we had an incredible design team that put all of that together and applied it. I mean, poor Leo Hanna had a wound on his head for like 11 days or something, you know, just a gaping hole, walking around set. Everybody was taking their photo with him because, you know, he just walked around with that every day. I would say the worst part about the prosthetics process was that the blood has a lot of sugar in it. Oh my. And sugar attracts bees.
Oh no.
And there were tons of wasps and bees, like just swarming on everyone who had blood on them.
Now, Alden, I have to know there, you know, not to give too much away, but there you have a couple scenes with the bear. Maybe some would say maybe a very close encounter, maybe
romantic.
Even intimate. Yeah, romantic. You know, these are your words. What is that like? I mean, how?
That's a great question. There's a guy who has a thing on his head.
His name was Alan Henry.
Alan,
he was
yes.
the bear performer.
Yes.
Alan we give a big shout out to
Really
Alan.
kind of incredible. I mean, I
Yeah.
have a video somewhere of him running as the bear, and it's like,
as a quadruped.
it's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It's
on
amazing.
prosthetic arms.
Yes. And then we choreographed it. No intimacy coordinator on that one, actually.
Sorry.
But we had
that's my mistake.
we had the bear was just there and doing all the stuff, and then you know, react as if you would react.
So we asked the internet questions to you guys, and we picked the best ones. Kay Zibbit asks, in telling a true story, how important was it to you to get it right and honor the legacy of the Cocaine Bear?
I just want to jump in. Everything you see in this movie happened exactly the way it did in real life.
Whoa, we have to
single
double check
detail.
that.
Every frame.
Every frame.
Yeah.
Every frame, every person's name.
Honestly, I'm surprised people aren't referring to it as a documentary.
Exactly.
It's basically
I thought
a
it was a
documentary.
Yeah. It must be such a fun kind of like, okay, I'm gonna fill in, because in real life the Cocaine Bear just kind of ate cocaine and then just.
Well, do we really know? I mean, were you there? I
You know
wasn't
what?
in the woods.
Good.
1985.
We don't know.
That's what I thought.
You're right, I was there.
But you're right. Who's
People are
there?
like, oh, we don't know.
If
You're
a
right.
bear
Someone said,
overdoses
what
in
if
the
that
woods?
bear actually shared it with 10 other friends? We don't know if that was the only bear or the only animal that even ate that coke. They just happened to find Pablo Escobar with the bag of coke.
Super interesting.
And who, you know, he did overdose. That was confirmed by the autopsy.
Right.
But we don't know what happened in the time, and we don't know the time frame. He could have nibbled a little here and there. And
For months.
3 months. They found him 3 months later.
Next question, House of Organa asks, if you encountered a cocaine bear in the wild, what would your survival strategy be?
Well, we named the strategy in the film, which is,
yeah.
If it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back.
Yes.
Which is famously true.
Which is true. That is what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
And don't run.
Do not, that's the number one thing.
That's a trick question for me because I don't consider being in the woods a blacktivity. So I wouldn't be there.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm at a Laker game, baby.
Okay, last question. Phil, of course, asks, I love that username.
Phil, of course.
Is there a chance for a Cocaine Bear video game?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. I mean...
Let me tell you guys the power of Grand Theft Auto 5 mods.
Ooh.
All right? And there is a possibility for anything with the mod community. We, as a team, leave it in your hands unless Universal wants to cut a check.
If you just can't wait to get your Cocaine Bear fix, we have just the thing. An exclusive clip from the movie. Ooh. Elizabeth, would you like to tease what fans will see in the scene?
Ooh, you know, it's an action-packed moment involving some EMTs that show up on the scene and unexpectedly encounter a bear that's high in cocaine. They don't know.
They don't know, and that is terrifying, and that is one of the most scary, brutal scenes in the movie.
Beth, we should go.
Let's go. Tom, get up! Don't look back, don't look back! Oh shit. Tom, I'm sorry.
Anybody else surprised by that rain this morning? I know I was.
Leave him!
That story in the weather at the top of the hour, but first, more of your favorite hits here on 107.
Tom, get in! Wait! Oh, God! Shit! Jesus, Beth, I wasn't even on yet! What the fuck is wrong with that bear? What the hell have you got a gun for? Put that away! Jesus Christ, shoot it! Shoot it! Kill him! Not to treat a big fucking bear! Shut up! Why is it chasing us? Tom, shut the fucking door! Close the fucking door, you dumbass! Stop yelling at me! Shit! Bam, speed up!
That's all the time we have for today. Elizabeth, Alden, O'Shea, thank you so much for stopping by. Cocaine Bear hits theaters on February 24th. Don't miss it. We've got plenty more FanFest coming up, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, don't miss it. It's his birthday.
It's on my birthday.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear comes out on O'Shea's birthday.
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
You have to see it.
Look it up.
IGN FanFest is presented by The Last of Us Part 1. Available on PS5 and PC, rated M for mature.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's actually my ringtone, and there's so much more where that came from. So follow IGN on all social platforms. We've got video game previews, we've got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, tap that follow button so I get paid.
The IGN Game of the Year for 2022 is Elden Ring, but I want to go ahead and talk about the IGN Game of the Year for 2023, which is, of course, Tears of the Kingdom. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Seth, Tears of the Kingdom doesn't come out for another 5 months. Well, I don't have to listen to you because you're not my dad. Tears of the Kingdom earned its title as IGN's 2023 Game of the Year basically the moment its 2023 release date was finalized.
Mr. Miyamoto, are we going to get a new Mario game next year? Oh, he's nodding yes!
Mr. Miyamoto, are we gonna get more DLC for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker?
Ooh, good question.
That would be wonderful.
Oh,
He's disappearing. Don't miss out on the chaos. Every Thursday, we get together to talk about all things Nintendo. Tune in and be part of the NVC family.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Now this is IGN FanFest 2023, our celebration of gaming, entertainment, and you, the fans. Now we're getting the answers to the questions that you submitted, showing off tons of never before seen trailers, gameplay, and more.
And don't forget, we're giving away hundreds of codes for free games. So pop in the chat, say hello, make some friends, and who knows, maybe you'll walk away with a copy of something new to play.
Yes, and still to come, we've got Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, and Star Trek Picard. But right now, here's a look at the next layers of fear. Check it out.
Since 1996, a crazed maniac or multiple maniacs in a cheap Halloween mask have been on a killing spree across a small town in California. But this March, they're taking their large knives on the road to New York City. That's right, Scream 6 is about to up the ante and the violence for the franchise, so let's sit down with the team behind the movie to see how Ghostface is holding up these days in the Big Apple.
Please welcome the team behind the upcoming Scream 6, Matt, Tyler, and Chad from Radio Silence. What's up, guys?
Hey,
how are you?
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so earlier this week, you showed us an exclusive image from Scream 6. Ghostface looks a little bit different this time around. How heavily does costuming play into Scream 6?
Very heavily.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
Inside that shrine, outside the shrine, given that it takes place
on Halloween.
Around Halloween.
Yeah.
We weren't maybe fully prepared for just how huge of an undertaking that was.
Yeah, and our costume designer Avery, who we worked with previously, she took the challenge of the costumes in this, and I mean exceeded expectations. There's not a costume in the movie that isn't fully thought out, and it's kind of fun.
To piggyback on that, if we look at any long-running character in any movie, he's had, some Spider-Man, Batman. They've had like dozens of different costume revisions now, like, gold-plated Teflon masks and stuff like that. But Ghostface has mostly remained kind of iconic and the same.
I think that's a lot of the fun of Ghostface, that it could be anybody and it could be anything, and you could buy a Ghostface mask anywhere, at any Halloween store, any costume store. That accessibility really makes it interesting. And then obviously, without giving any spoilers away, the way we use it in this movie is also story points throughout, and it kind of propels the story forward a little bit and plays into the murder mystery of what Scream is in a really nice way. But I think that anybody can be Ghostface needs to be, front and center of any Scream movie. And I think that's what, that mask really represents.
The Scream movies are like historically violent as hell, but they're not really like super gory. Like there's blood, but we don't really get a ton of like dismemberment or disembowelment and stuff like that, really. So how do you know when a death is like just violent enough for these films without going too overboard?
I mean, I think it really just comes down to intuition. I think at the end of the day, we talk a lot about how one of the fun things that these movies all do is they play in a bit of a heightened reality. And I think one of the tightropes that we walk throughout the process is really knowing when to make the movie scary and cruel, but not make the entire movie cruel, right? There's a real difference between it feeling fun and it feeling like it's mean just to be mean. And obviously Ghostface is a terrifying and mean and scary character, but it also, we want to make sure that the movie is always walking a bit of a tightrope tonally. And for us, I mean, we on the set shoot everything, even the most gory bits. And really it's in editing that you find whether something pushes it too far. And oftentimes I think we've found not showing things is weirdly actually scarier. It allows for a level of interpretation that if you just show the thing, it sort of demystifies what's terrifying about the violence. So that's the thing we find ourselves doing really often, but you also always want to have the material just in case, you do need to shock people, to really shake them out of into a moment.
There's an X-rated version we could easily cut together.
I don't want to see that at all.
No, neither do we, to be clear.
I guess on the other end of the sort of pendulum, comedy has always played a big role in these movies. There's a lot of shit talking teenagers. Ghostface is borderline slapstick Scooby-Doo villain at times. He gets doors slammed into his head a lot. How important is comedy to Scream and to you guys? And how do you know when and where to weave it in?
So the humor is wildly important to us because it helps ground the characters. It helps keep the movie kind of, light and fun. So even though you just want to do something awful with these characters you hopefully love, now there's a moment of levity, which, mirrors real life. So it helps ground it. So, I mean, the humor matters a lot. I think one of the things we're really conscious of is making sure that if it ever feels like we're going for a joke or it feels like something's designed around the humor, that I think just taste-wise, like Tyler was talking about earlier, we kind of just cut it down because then it starts to feel like we're going for comedy. And I think once you feel that in a movie like this, it kind of strips the foundational groundedness of it out. So we just try to, we create little guardrails for ourselves and then we push it to the edges.
So like a lot's changed in the, like just the way humans interact with each other since this franchise launched in the 90s. How do you even get a person under the age of 40 to even answer an unknown phone call in 2023? Like, was that a conversation that came up that was like, people, like I see a call and I'm just going to block that person. They're not in my contacts. Like, how do you get someone to even pick up the phone for Ghostface?
Scream has always taken what feels like contemporary technology and made an obstacle out of it. It's one of the things that we love about these movies. And we think Guy and Jamie did so well on the last one. And there are certainly instances in this one where we're seeing the same thing, that the thing that should be a lifeline that you should be using to save your life is actually complicating your ability to survive. And, it's just part of what always feels so contemporary about these movies, that they can take what exists in our real world and those things become an ingredient in what's, scary and fun about the story.
All right. We have a huge video game audience at IGN. So I have to ask, do you think a Scream video game could ever work?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
I know they did the Call of Duty, the Call of Duty mod for the last one. And I jumped into a few games and 90% of the players were playing as Ghostface. So if that's any indication, 100% yes. We've also talked though about how, a board game, like there's something about this franchise that lends itself to so many other formats, like the characterization, obviously the iconic villain, but the whodunit element, like there is a game within each movie. And I think it's one of the reasons why the gaming community loves the Scream movies and why collectors love the Scream movies. There's something so forensic about the storytelling. They're kind of puzzles in their own right. So yeah, absolutely. I think it translates perfectly.
What's sort of like your favorite weapon that we've seen Ghostface use to kill somebody in the past?
Garage door.
Yeah, the garage door.
Feels like a gimme, but yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. That's a very good one. We have a question from a Scream fan on Twitter. That's SJ Foster Sound, who asks, did you consider making any other cities the setting prior to working on the script?
No, the script was, it was the first thing that we learned about Scream 6. We were bugging Guy and Jamie, the writers, and William, our on the ground producer, to give us any intel about where they were taking it. And New York was the first thing that, first bit of information that we were given. And I mean, our minds were blown. We had no idea, no context outside of the setting, but we knew that it was going to be awesome because it felt so opposite from the small town, murder mystery that I think, we're all familiar with. It felt like there was just an entire universe of possibility in that setting. And then, of course, read the script. And I think one of the things we loved immediately was how specific it felt to the city. Like there are things that happen in this movie that just can't happen anywhere else. And it was really fun to design those set pieces and chases using the city as a backdrop.
I mean, even the trailer, you see a lot of, kind of New Yorkers being like, yeah, we're not going to take this. Whereas I feel like in California, people were just kind of like, oh no, the killer's here. I guess we'll just have to work around him. Any last words on Scream 6 before I let you guys go?
Go see it.
Yeah, look, we're you never know in the moment like how it's going to turn out. And I think we were here at Paramount finishing it up now, and every day that we get to spend on it, it's just, you just feel excited to come into work. And I think that's how you have something really special. And obviously as Scream fans, it feels very much like it's a Scream movie, but we're proud of the weird risks that it takes, and we think people are gonna really love it. It's got all the things that you want, but there's a little bit of a different flavor to this one.
Well, thank you guys so much. Scream 6 hits theaters on March 10th. Please go watch it.
IGN FanFest is presented by Company of Heroes 3, available February 23rd on PC. Tune into IGN 1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN 1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This? This is what to watch here on IGN 1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN 1.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
This is cool. It looks really appetizing, and I want to eat it. I'm sorry. It looks like a toffee apple or something.
Can we afford to give it to her?
No, I won't eat it. That's crazy.
Just the rest of my audience is so hard to hear. Wow, I love Karen Gillan. She's amazing as Nebula, and there's so much more where that came from. So follow IGN on every social platform. We've got video game previews, we've got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, let's hit the follow button, or else I'll get fired.
6 years ago, while talking about Sonic on Game Scoop, Brian, you had this to say.
At the point where we need to admit that this was never really a great franchise.
Nope. Wow. It was never really a good franchise, huh, Brian? Well, I'm sorry. We're well over, believe it or not, 100 Sonic games, 2 movies, a long-running comic book series, and 6 shows. When you besmirch Sonic, you besmirch everyone associated with Sonic, okay, Brian? Brian, I want to present you with this.
I will hold that L. I was wrong. I have since come around on that character. I have watched the movies with my kid and enjoyed them immensely. Sonic Frontiers is fun. I liked Sonic Colors. I liked Sonic Generations. I liked Sonic Mania. Something we can all agree on is that Sonic has been good. It's Crash Bandicoot that's never been good.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
If you enjoyed that, check out full episodes of Beyond, IGN's PlayStation show, as we talk, argue, and goof on everything PlayStation. New episodes drop every Tuesday on IGN.com and IGN Games on YouTube.
Hey, welcome back to IGN FanFest. Now, up next, we're rolling for charisma and having a chat with the cast of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves and getting an exclusive look at the movie. But still to come, we're taking a trip to Tamriel to see what's new in Elder Scrolls Online.
Now, I am not gonna make my guests here roll for initiative, but we are talking about Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves today, with stars Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez, and directors John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks you for having us.
Yeah, and so we've seen a little bit of this movie so far. You know, we've seen some trailers. We have an idea of what's about. But I'm kind of curious, you know, if there is some kind of like meta narrative within the game where someone's playing in real life and then we go to this fantasy setting. Is there any of that in this movie?
Do you mean Jumanji?
Jumanji, exactly.
No, this is not Jumanji. No, we talked about it, but we made a decision that we did not want to break the fourth wall, that there's so much fun to be had just in the world of D&D that we didn't have to bring it into our world and show kids playing.
We felt like it would in fact be sort of limiting the absolute scope of this world if we were to sort of put it through the lens of a game being played.
All right, so just straight fantasy adventure. I like
Absolutely.
it. Yeah. But on that note, you know, you are still adapting, you know, a game. So I'm kind of curious if fight scenes kind of adhere to like D&D mechanics where Michelle might only have like 2 or 3 raged barbarians a day or something. Do they have to deal with that?
You know, we definitely played by the rule of cool when it came to how much we adhere to the game mechanics. You know, very often I think we do have a lot of turn-based action, and all the spells and monsters and creatures that they come across are authentic to the lore, but we definitely took some liberties to give you the most action-packed fun that we could.
Watching actors rest between attacks isn't the most fun thing.
It's a very D&D thing for you to say, though, the rule of cool. And I did notice in the trailer that there was a druid turning into an owlbear. Was that a rule of cool situation?
Very much, yeah. I mean, we kind of took our role as the dungeon masters of the movie, and we had to decide, you know, are we going to hold hard and fast to certain rules, or are we going to take liberties as we would if we were playing the game?
And Michelle, in the other major franchise that you star in, obviously you work with Vin Diesel, and we're all aware that Vin is a huge D&D fan. So did you tell him before you took the role in the D&D movie?
Absolutely. You know, I remember the first time I like hung out hard with Vin, and he opened his closet, and he showed me the whole closet from top to bottom. I'm talking about like 5 feet of just Dungeons and Dragons books. And I was like, oh, okay, you're no joke. You're like a full-on dungeon master.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, whoa. Now I get where all the creativity comes from.
Yeah.
Because, you know, to be fair, like this game is fantastic for the imagination. I mean, it just really works that muscle. And if you ever want to be a writer or a creator of worlds, like this is the best way to dive into that, I think.
Absolutely. I think the biggest similarity between your Fast franchise and Dungeons is it's all about family.
Thank you for saying it, because I wanted to, and I'm glad someone did.
That's so true.
Michelle, I'm so excited to see you play a barbarian, and I'm putting you on the spot here, and you can totally tell me no. But I would be honored to hear your barbarian rage yell.
Oh,
you don't have to.
Yeah,
I would be honored.
Like, guys, I think you want to cover your ears. Ready?
That was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Thank you so much.
Were you rolling on that?
God, if we missed that, I
hope so. My voice is going to go if I have to do that again.
Like, did you practice that a lot? Because I just put you on the spot and you just whipped it out.
That's what's always goes. Yeah. She's holding it back most of the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's like the natural state.
The biggest challenge is holding it back.
And kind of like a play on the who would you invite to your dinner party question. If you were going on a real life D&D-esque fantasy adventure, who would you want in your adventuring party?
I definitely want Chris in my party. Because he's super creative and entertaining. If I want a good laugh, you know what I mean, during a campaign, I know he's going to hook it up.
Good.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I'd invite myself. So you should say that.
So you go alone.
Yeah.
You're a party of one.
Yeah. Great party, by the way.
Well, I would invite John because.
Oh, wait a minute.
Gucci girl.
I don't go anywhere without this.
Guys, by the way, I have to admit, like watching these two, you know, we were shooting during lockdown, COVID in Ireland, like to see the amount of heart and effort that they put in to making this movie the best thing that they could was pretty astounding.
Well, thank you, Michelle. You know, you don't get a lot of opportunities to make a movie that is this big, something that is such a legacy that you really want to do well and pay your sort of respects to the 50 years that came before it. And so we just put all of our hearts and souls into this thing and probably lost 30 years of our lives collectively.
She gained 25 pounds of muscle.
I
lost
24
weight. We lost years of our lives.
To be fair, a lot of us have lost a lot of years of our life to D&D
Yeah.
in a good way. Yeah.
That's true.
Well, obviously we have a ton of D&D fans who read IGN, so we're gonna roll the dice on some questions from fans real quick. And this one is for Michelle and Chris. At It's Dion LOL wants to know, who in the party would your character trust the most with their life?
In the film?
Yes.
Oh, her for sure.
Yeah.
And I would trust the owlbear. Well, you know, I mean, I love him to death, but like the life thing is a big responsibility. I'm not quite sure.
Look how hurt he is.
Are you saying
Look
that
how hurt he
playing
is.
the lute isn't as powerful as a...
Well, I'm just saying, you know, he talks his way out of things, and sometimes you need an owlbear to get you out of a situation.
You know, bars have their purposes, but saving lives usually isn't one of them.
Yeah, you know, I mean, not unless you can charm your way there.
You really hurt his feelings.
He was gonna say you, but now he's
Well, I'm a good fighter, like, to be fair.
What about Zank?
Zank's pretty
That would be...
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about him.
Reggae Jean Page as Zank is like the
Dude,
most
he's like bone chicken,
heroic.
bow, bow.
Yeah, he is sexy and heroic, humorless, utterly humorless. Not the actor, the character.
Yes. Pretty
Yeah,
funny
it's
at being humorless.
Defined there.
I have to make sure that that's clear. Yeah.
Sounds like a paladin, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And this one is for you guys, and it's from at Matthew X. Clark. What inspired the selection of the specific set of character classes in the party? Was it the same from the start, or at some point did we have other classes represented?
You know, we played with a lot of different classes. We definitely wanted it to be rounded out in a good way and to sort of feature everyone's strengths. But I think the thing that was kind of revelatory for us was having Chris be a bard, because that is not often your team leader, and we thought it'd be a really fun way into it.
We're expecting a surge in bards to happen in the D&D world as a result of his performance.
Yeah, they called me up and they're like, you know, if someone can play ineffectual, it's you.
And do you know any Quebecois music you can jam?
But to be
Thank
fair,
you.
I think we're all underdogs in some way.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we got into this business.
I think it's good for like anybody who doesn't play D&D, because I think it's a good intro to what that world would be like if you didn't know how to play.
And I have one, it's not from a fan, I just want to know, in order to prepare, did you guys ever sit down and all just play D&D together?
Oh yes, we
Yep.
did.
Yeah.
We did the first day. Rather than using our precious time to rehearse, we decided to play a 3+ hour game. The Wizards of the Coast were nice enough to give us a dungeon master on Zoom, and we played, and it was hilarious and really educational, because I think they all learned about their characters more and I think we incorporated some of the things that came out of that into the movie.
All right, well, if you want to see all that fantasy chaos play out on screen, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves hits theaters on March 31st. Thanks, you guys, so much for joining me. This was so fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Okay, Simon, how does this work? All right. Once the dead man is revived, we can ask him 5 questions, at which point he will die again, never to be re-revived.
Why 5 questions?
I don't know, that's just how it works.
Seems arbitrary.
Can we get on with this, please? Right, yes. Perlamon Tergatis. Maybe I'm not saying it right. I wasn't scared, merely startled.
Here we go. Were you killed in the Battle of the Everhorse?
Yes.
Great. I mean, not for you. Sorry for your loss. 4 more questions, right?
Yes.
No, that wasn't for you. Did that count as a question?
Yes.
Damn it. Only answer when I talk to you, okay?
Yes. Why did you say okay at the end of that? I didn't.
Fantastic. Where's the shovel? We're facing the greatest evil the world has ever known. We're gonna need a team.
How are we gonna pull this off? Figure it out over a drink?
Probably best.
Dungeons and Dragons.
That was Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. If that kind of high fantasy adventuring is your cup of tea or flagon of mead, don't go anywhere. Here's a look at the Elder Scrolls Online.
Hey gang, I'm Brian Wheeler, combat lead on the Elder Scrolls Online, and today we're going to talk about the new class coming in June with our chapter Necrom for the Elder Scrolls Online. This includes revealing a brand new ability we're excited to show you that's pretty unique to the Arcanist. So let's get into it. In case you haven't heard, we're adding a 7th class to ESO called the Arcanist. As one of the most requested new features, the Arcanist allows us to go into realms that we haven't gone before. Quite literally. We really wanted this class to embody what exploring the depths of Apocrypha can do to a person. That's not to say the Arcanist is all dark and scary, quite the contrary. The Arcanist has a great mix of abilities that look precise and exacting to go along with more otherworldly and horrific. For new players, it's an awesome new class to pick up and play, as we've made sure it works with any playstyle. It's one of our most versatile classes yet. For our ESO veterans, the Arcanist not only has new abilities to master, but also a new mechanic. Some abilities will generate what we call crux, and there's other abilities that spend that crux to give them more oomph. This can mean more damage, more healing, or new effects entirely that let you alter your abilities to the situation. Today, we're thrilled to give you an exclusive look into one of the Arcanist abilities called Fate Carver. The Fate Carver ability is basically a big laser U channel in front of you that damages anyone in the bead. This ability can be used when you want to dish out some serious damage to foes in front of you. To really get some effective use out of Fate Carver, it's a good idea to crowd control your enemies so they can't get out of that beam. Players can look forward to playing the Arcanist and using the Fate Carver ability in the upcoming Elder Scrolls Online Necrom chapter coming June 5th for PC and Mac and June 20th for Xbox and PlayStation consoles. We'll see you on the battlefield!
IGN FanFest is brought to you by PlayStation 5, bringing you the extraordinary. So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, Power A, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
And then he leaves it. He's gone. It's like they just cancel each other out. The story starts and ends in those two mid-credit scenes for Venom Let There Be Carnage and Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, what if people left the theater? Yes, I know a lot of people know to not leave the theater for a Marvel movie, but sometimes people still leave and they don't know that that story happened. And what does this mean for the Sony Spider-Man universe? What is Tom Hardy's future in the MCU? Yes, Venom is in the MCU now because a little symbiote thing stayed on the desk with the guy who played Danny Rojas in Ted Lasso. And honestly, Spider-Man, are you even listening? You can use that Spider-Man swinging filter right now on IGN's Instagram. And in fact, you should follow IGN on all social platforms because we have video game previews, we have celebrity moments, and so much more. So let's swing with Spider-Man and follow IGN.
Oh! Have you been stuck on the same quest for just way too long? I just want answers! IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and of course, free. You can even track your progress with handy checklists if you go for 100% just like we do.
We're gonna be going over some sensitive material.
IGN has the very best, most complete, and accurate guides for God of War Ragnarok, The Witcher 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Genshin Impact, Elden Ring, and so much more.
I will require some time to process this information.
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN.
I am Delta, a proto-droid. In order to win, I must grow stronger.
That was Proto-Droid Delta, a futuristic sci-fi action game from Humble Games. But if you like your sci-fi a little bit more old school, there's nobody more engaging than the crew of the Enterprise. Here's the cast of the hit show Star Trek Picard to tell us more.
You will probably find this inspection boring for the likes of you two. Boring? Well, we won't be blowing things up. Taking or engaging in fire, crash landing expectedly or unexpectedly.
Those were the days.
Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us for IGN Fan Fest. It's a pleasure and an honor to talk to you guys. So, Terry, can I start by asking you, would you say that this is season 8 of the Next Generation?
Not really, because I think if it was, you would be telling different kinds of stories. You'd be telling one-off stories, more thoughtful in some ways. This feels more like a continuation of the serialized arcs, Star Trek: The Next Generation, much more deeper character dives. So in some ways, yes, it is about the Next Generation cast, but it really is a continuation of maybe where we left off with them cinematically.
Jonathan, did you miss being able to tell arc storylines back in the Next Generation days, or did you guys not even think in those terms? Because
we never thought in those terms because we had one-offs just like they do now on Strange New Worlds, and they worked wonderfully.
Did you guys think that when Nemesis came out, that was the end of the road?
Not when it came out.
We were still optimistic.
Not until that Monday.
It just landed with a thud for some reason.
Yeah, and boy, there was no forgiving it. The story we were told was that it was the first Star Trek movie that ever lost money of the 10. And as soon as that happened...
Really?
Well, I don't know if that's true,
Wow.
but that's what
we were told.
The legend we've always lived with. And they were done. Paramount was done, and then they shut it down. JJ rebooted and made movies with different... I mean, we did First Contact for $45 million. Wow. Made over $200 million. Wow. So... But then when JJ got the franchise and cinema changed and the appetite for a new Star Trek and a new cast changed everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Terry and Michael, did you guys ever discuss changing Worf's design? Because obviously, like, the Klingons, the design has changed a lot over the years, and modern Star Trek has depicted the Klingons differently, and Star Trek Discovery. Was that ever on the table, or?
Terry said, we picture Worf with gray hair. And I of course, I'm famous. I said, my ego wouldn't let me do that. I don't want to be old.
This is also a controversial thing with some fans too, because Klingons don't age.
Okay.
But in all good things, he had gray hair. We went a little white here because he said a thing that I thought was really cool. Was you said Pai Mei from Kill Bill, and I was like, well, that's really interesting.
Well, they said we see him with this, and the other thing was at the ear. You never saw Worf's ears.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So they had, and at first I went, no, and then like I said, I talked to Terry. I said, Pai Mei. I mean, he has gray hair, gray beard, and he can kill anybody.
That was Michael.
And then once I had said we'd spoken about him being kind of a samurai, with a sword on his back. And we got Dan Curry to come back and create a new Klingon sword called the Kurlith. And so when he said Paime, it all came together really well. Yeah, I think Worf is going to be a fan favorite this season. I think the action figures are going to fly off the shelf for that one.
LeVar, what was it like working with your daughter?
That's the gift that Terry Matalas has given me as a father that I could never have expected, anticipated, or even dreamed of. When my daughter decided to become an actor, I'm obviously enormously proud, but to have her in this, to have her play my daughter in Star Trek, to have her wear engineering gold, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And very emotional for my family. Very emotional.
I'm sure. I love how you managed to insert the names of Geordi's daughters are the names from All Good Things. Right. So it's like a variation on.
Yeah, timelines kind of do this. It was. There's a couple of I don't want to spoil too much, but there are some moments where LeVar is working with his daughter on some kind of engineering things that you would have seen him do in TNG, and it gets you here and it gets you here because and I think fans are going to fall in love with her the way they fell in love with him back then.
What are some of the old Next Generation episodes that you guys are really cherish or look back on? LeVar, do you have any?
I didn't watch a lot of the show when we were doing the show, so I get to now, for the rest of my life, see episodes that I've never seen before. Even the ones that I probably have seen before, I can't remember what happened. I watch an episode of Star Trek now, like on the BBC America channel, and it's like, I'm engaged, I'm engrossed, because I don't know what's happening. What comes next? I have no clue. Right. So this is like the rest of my life. I get to watch Star Trek and be surprised by what happens on the screen.
Yeah, I had two from the series, and both of them were directed by Jonathan. Drumhead and The Offspring. Just
you love that Drumhead.
I love that Drumhead. It was a courtroom drama, which is always tricky. It could get boring, but he had some fabulous actors, and Gene Simmons, the late Gene Simmons, just amazing.
Patrick was awesome in it.
Patrick was awesome, and then the Offspring, where Data goes to child, and Nicholas Coster.
Yeah,
Nick Coster.
Oh my
and
God, he was just
Hallie Todd.
Hallie Todd.
Best of Both Worlds Parts 1 and 2 was probably the best did. Yeah, it certainly was. From that point on, we had the fandom, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
There was a great cliffhanger. There was a time when the cliffhanger could actually hang on a cliff till the end of the.
That was amazing. Yeah.
I mean, Terry, I don't know if you remember, but like the fans. I mean, of course, this is a different era when Best of Both Worlds aired, but like there was no internet. Like fans really thought that Patrick Stewart might not come back.
Could have been the way they wrote him off the show.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, you didn't know. Yeah. You were looking through the old TV guide to see this thing coming back. The ink on your fingers.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So what's the future for you guys in Star Trek? I mean, are we getting more Worf, Riker, and Geordi and Terry?
These three gentlemen here have scenes in this season that make you cry. They are at the top of their game. They've never been better. I don't know how you don't want to see more with them.
Yeah.
I know I do, just as a fan, whether that I continue with it or not. They're so good. I would love nothing more. But if not, my God, wait till you see what they've done. What this guy has managed to do and direct and be in the episode at the same time is extraordinary. I'm forever grateful just to be sitting here next to these gentlemen.
What this man has given us is a huge gift. It's a love poem this season to the Next Generation family. To expect or even ask for more after this would be incredibly greedy and inappropriate.
I have a how I describe it is that you get a call from an old girlfriend, and You pick up the phone. Hi, Michael. This is Lori. How you doing? Oh, hi, Lori. How are you? It's been so long. I know that I broke up, but I'm back in town, and I really, really thought about you, and I thought we had a good time together. And you go, wow, yeah, well, yeah, me too. That was. Do you think we ought to get together and have dinner? That sounds great. And you get to dinner, and halfway through dinner, you go, oh, that's why. And it's not about the work. For me, it was the makeup. Because you go, oh, this sounds great. And then I go, oh my God, the makeup.
You loved it.
But it was, like I said, halfway through it, I just realized I'm having a blast.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Can't
Scott.
wait to see what happens for the rest of this season.
You're going to love it. It's going to be fantastic.
Thanks, Scott. Good job. Yeah, and for all of your Star Trek needs, keep it locked to IGN.
Power level at 13%.
Who is it out there?
I don't know. First it was Fenris Rangers, then Klingons a day later. Then 3 guys in Starfleet uniforms tried to prime direct me into an early grave. We've been running for months. Whoever's piloting that ship has resources, and we've been too close to the nebula for too long, and it's fried our systems. We're running on fumes.
Trust nobody. That's what Beverly said. What do they want? We have to find out. But first of all, we have to make contact. Strike an accord, negotiate.
Computer, threat assessment.
Unidentified vessel presently targeting all ship systems. Probability of destruction 100%.
They're not here to negotiate.
That was Star Trek Picard, streaming now on Paramount+. Up next, we're leaving the endless darkness of space for something equally harrowing, a murder mystery starring Kiefer Sutherland. It's called Rabbit Hole, and it's a brand new spy thriller series coming soon to the streaming service. Check it out.
This would be a simple op. I want to do a variation on the Odd Couple job that we did on Benchmark a few years ago.
Do we have time for another job? We've got Tom coming up.
Tom can wait. We're going to do this one first.
Can't we send the task monkey for some Thai?
Please don't call me that.
Okay, Kyle. Sorry, Kyle. I'm just hungry, Kyle.
Okay, stop picking on the intern. Pay attention. You're going to be graded. Okay, Lux Brandt is a huge player in the luxury brand market. They own a ton of high-end labels, everything from clothing to furniture. Recently, there have been rumors, loud rumors, that they have been using child labor, which triggered an investigation into their finances by the Treasury Department. Now, Lux Brandt claims that the allegations and the investigation have been engineered by one of their competitors, the Bannemark Group, in an effort to tank their stock so the Bannemark Group can swoop in and pick them up on the cheap. That just simply is not true. But Lux Brandt needs it to be true in order to make this investigation go away. So, pretty simple, right? All we need to do is suggest that the Bannemark Group and the Treasury Department investigator are somehow in bed together. Nothing tawdry, just a few photographs to feed the narrative and squash the investigation. For that, we get 3% of the buy price to split with Arda.
And what's the ballpark on that?
I'll give you some perspective. A few years ago, Michael Kors bought Versace for $2 billion. This would be like buying 10 Versaces. Do the math.
Who needs to be seen with who?
This is Dana Heinrich. She is the CEO of the Bannemark Group, and this is Edward Hom, the Treasury Department investigator. They do not know each other. They have never met before, most likely never would. It's our job to make sure that they do and get it on camera. Mr. Hom has been visiting from Washington, D.C. He spends most of his time shuttling back and forth between the Treasury Department offices and the Kettering Hotel in Midtown. Ms. Heinrich, meanwhile, on the west side, leaves Westchester at 7 a.m., takes the West Side Highway to her office at 2 Broadway near Bowling Green. He's on the east side, she's on the west side, they don't know each other, and somehow we have to make it look like they are colluding. Any ideas?
Easy. Photoshop.
No. They'll use cell phone pings to deny that.
It's a trick question. He already knows. You already know, don't you?
Well, given the background information package provided to me by Arda Analytics, I think I have some exploitable facts on these two. She prides herself on her punctuality and hates dogs. He is a consummate gentleman and has his driver pick him up at exactly 8:15 on the dot every morning without fail.
And?
That's it. That's all we need. Pretty cut and dry.
It is?
Yep. So, who's got a valid Class A driver's license?
All right, now we got to take a very quick break. Coming right up, we're checking in with the cast of Young Rock as well as the final form of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And we'll be breaking down all the amazing secrets we found at Universal's Super Nintendo World theme park. Now, all that and lots more coming up right here on IGN FanFest. So don't go anywhere.
IGN FanFest is presented by TikTok. Share your favorite games and all the ways you play this February on TikTok using hashtag Let's Play. Tune into IGN 1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN 1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This? This is what to watch here on IGN 1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN 1.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
Let's go.
Wow, I can't wait to see Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. And there's tons more where that came from, so follow IGN on all social channels. We got video game previews, we got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, follow IGN. Whoa!
So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, Power A, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
I love Splinter Cell. Conviction, which is probably my least favorite in the mainline series, only because it's more of an action game than a stealth game.
But you're right, it is more actiony. And you know what? I like that, Ryan. I think it's cool to have big moments where you can execute everybody in a room.
It's not an action game.
You can bust in, execute everybody in a room
one
that you've marked.
I had to stop
and it's
myself from
great.
cursing.
But if you want the Splinter Cell
Hey, look how
experience,
dumb that is.
it's awesome.
Many people have attempted to write about the things that have taken place among us. Reports of these things were handed down to us. There were people who saw these things for themselves from the beginning. They saw them and then passed the word on. With this in mind, I myself have carefully looked into everything from the beginning.
I'm Simon. This is my brother, Andrew. We're trying to catch fish.
I'm afraid the wedding appears to have a small issue. I don't know, but I thought you might be able to help.
This wine is better than the wine we had before.
Please, Lord, just heal my son.
Lord, if it's you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. I am doing this for you. I want you to know that the things you have been taught are true.
That was I Am Jesus Christ, and if you want to check it out for yourself, head over to IGN Rewards for a chance to win a free game code. Up next, NBC's Young Rock follows the biggest wrestler turned actor on Earth along his road to stardom, but who better to tell you about that than The Rock himself? Ladies and gentlemen, and I can't believe I get to say this, please welcome Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Hey everybody, Dwayne Johnson here, coming at you from my home here in beautiful Hawaii.
I want to first say thank you guys so much for supporting all of my projects and rocking with me throughout the years. And speaking of rock, thank you for supporting Young Rock, which my castmates will be discussing with Akeem today for IGN Fan Fest. Now, I understand there were a few fan questions that came in, hundreds actually, but I'd like to take the time to answer just one. And this one is from user BA Parks Official. And that question is, what made you want to transition from wrestling to become an actor? Well, that's a great question, BA. Thank you for the question. The answer is this: I was looking to push myself more. And what I mean by that, in the world of pro wrestling, which I love, it's in my DNA, it's deep in my blood, my bones, because I grew up in wrestling. As a matter of fact, we were here on the island of Hawaii, where my grandfather, the legendary High Chief Peter Maivia, my grandmother Leah Maivia, they ran a local wrestling promotion here for years. So I grew up in the world of wrestling, traveled all around the world with my family. I love wrestling, and I was so fortunate and lucky in the world of pro wrestling to become Flex Kavana, then Rocky Maivia, then The Rock, then the People's Champion, the most electrifying man in all of entertainment. I was able to have this incredible wrestling career and accomplish so much in wrestling that I was looking to accomplish more. And my next goal to push myself was to become an actor. So when I first got into acting, I wanted to make sure that I worked with the best acting coaches when I first broke into acting, and I still work with them today. And I wanted to make sure that I had the kind of career that had longevity, that also had diversity. So I wanted to become an actor who could kick ass in action roles, comedy, action comedy, drama, sci-fi, musicals, you name it, I wanted to do it. And since then, again, I've been really lucky and fortunate as an actor to not only work in so many different genres, but also been so lucky to have been part of incredibly big franchises that have entertained and moved families all around the world. So it all comes down really to growth. And I wanted to grow as a person, as an actor, as an entertainer, as a human being, as a dad, as a father, as a husband, all these things that transitioning from wrestling to acting allowed me to do. As an entrepreneur, as a businessman, I always wanted to control the things that I could control with my own two hands, and putting in the work with my own two hands. Okay, thank you, BA, for that question. I'm gonna let my friends from Young Rock take it from here, and I hope you guys enjoy this exclusive clip from our Young Rock Season 3 finale. And I hope you all have a great Fan Fest, IGN. Get the tequila, get the Terramana, and get up. They'll just beep that. See you guys.
How you doing, brother? How you feeling after SNL? It was a rush, right? Unreal.
Is it true that you and I are the only wrestlers to host a show?
Yes, sir. Pretty exclusive club.
Hey, what y'all doing in here?
Just got the Mount Rushmore wrestling in your kitchen.
I know, right? Look at us. The Re-Kings. We did it. All right, I'll see y'all out there.
So what's next for The Rock? I'm sure everyone wants a piece of you.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it all out. You know, Vince has a great plan for me this year, and the fans and the ratings have all been incredible.
But
I'm definitely curious about where this acting thing could go. I just don't know if it makes sense right now. You know, I mean, in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm at the mountaintop. Why do more? Who knows if I can even juggle both?
Been there, brother. Why keep climbing if you're already at the summit?
Exactly.
Anytime I feel like I've reached my ceiling, I just think, what if that ceiling's just a floor to something else? Back when I was at the top of WWF, I decided to try and push through that ceiling. Maybe a little too far with Suburban Commando and Mr. Nanny and no holds barred. But I crushed Jim Gremlins too.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just me.
I hear you, Hulk. But honestly, I'd be happy if everything stayed just like this.
I got news for you, brother. Whether you pursue acting or not, your life ain't staying like this.
What?
We don't work at State Farm, man. Nothing stays the same for long in this business. We're all just one match away from an injury, one match away from the fans falling in love with the new guy. 10 years ago, you think I ever thought I'd be a heel with jet black beard hair? Hell no.
So you're saying I should test my ceiling?
Only you'll know the answer to that. When the time comes, you'll know.
You know, Mr. Nanny wasn't that bad.
It was bad.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and hello to everyone watching us here on FanFest 2023. Now, joining me right now to lay the smacketh down on what we can expect from the rest of Young Rock Season 3 and more is 2/3 of the Young Rock, Bradley Constant, Uli Latukefu, along with executive producers Jeff Chang and Brian Gerertz. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you for having me.
How are y'all doing?
Really good. Really good.
There's a lot going on in that clip that we just saw. So, Jeff, Brian, I'm going to have y'all break down what we just saw. Of course, we see the Hulk giving some sage words of wisdom to Dwayne. What can you tell us about that clip?
Well, okay, so during this season, we've been following Uli's basically year 2000-ish era of Dwayne, and he's been going through the heights of becoming The Rock, basically. During this season, he's just Dwayne Johnson figuring out the next step in the WWF, WWE, and he finds it, and he finds his groove, and he hits like another level, like kind of the fame that we're familiar with, like all the sayings, all the catchphrases, like all those moments that we all know. And then that fame comes with some opportunities. So he started touching into acting. He started getting into, like, he did an episode of The Net, a widely unknown TV series on USA during that time. And he did a few other series like Star Trek Voyager and things like that. And then with that came another opportunity, which was Saturday Night Live. And from there, then you have this moment where, like, where do I go? Like, do I have more that I can achieve? Do I want to become an actor? Is there a larger level of entertainment that I can hit? And that's kind of where we kind of set up for in that moment. And Brian can explain in detail because he was there for all that, you know?
Yes. So Brian, I'm kind of curious, were you there during the moments of The Rock being on SNL? You were then around that time, correct?
Yeah, no, I started in November of '99 at WWE, and Dwayne hosted in March of 2000. So yeah, I was there for that rocket ship. And yeah, like Jeff was saying, this is really, it's a cool scene, and it's also, indicative of what we go through on Young Rock, blending real life stuff and also creating stories. Dwayne had always had a kind of, hey, next challenge, let me do it. Let's do this. Come on. Like really not a ton of hesitation, but also he was stepping into the great unknown, and we wanted to portray that. And, we also, this particular season had this recurring arc of this very sage Hulk Hogan stepping in key moments of Dwayne's life. We see him early in the year with little Adrian when Dwayne was like 10 years old at the first WrestleMania. And then we see him later at Dwayne and Danny's wedding, giving sage advice to Uli. Now we bring him back here to also offer sage advice. The real life situation of Dwayne buying his parents a house in Florida, which absolutely did happen. And, Dwayne and Hulk talking about, the critical ramifications of Mr. Nanny, which may or may not have happened, at least in that house. But it does make for an entertaining scene and a nice, recurring theme throughout the year.
Yeah, and I feel like we've definitely come a long way, both of your depictions of The Rock since season 1. You both have changed vastly. We were talking about this earlier, Bradley. I feel like, Uli, it may appear to fans that maybe you have it a little bit easier because, like, your version, there's documented footage out there for you. There is a lot for you to live up to. So I kind of want to talk about each of your depictions of The Rock and where we see your character in season 3. I'll start with you, Bradley.
Yeah, like you said, it's different for me because I don't necessarily have, a lot of footage that everyone is so aware of that I need to try and replicate. So honestly, it does feel a lot easier to me. I don't know if it should or shouldn't, but I definitely look up to Uli when I see how he replicates it, and it's such a difficult task, but he's not just replicating it, he's bringing so much heart to it, and it feels refreshing when you watch Uli perform. And I think for me, I just try to bring that heart to the role as well and have fun with it. Because he's a 15-year-old who's just having fun and going through the motions, and who can't relate with that. And I think it's fun to be able to
getting into trouble as well.
Yeah, and getting in trouble and steal stuff. Are you kidding me? It's like I get to relive my teenage years in a more fun way, and not get in trouble for it, for real.
How about you, Uli?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways it's a little easier because you have those references. You know, there's so much footage of Dwayne as The Rock.
Yeah.
So there is definitely stuff that I can lean into in that regard. But at the same time, I feel like this show, from the very beginning, has never been be a characterization so much, you know, like a caricature of who Dwayne was. We really wanted to anchor this in truth, in love, and really what the essence of the show is about. And so it's kind of marrying the two of like the public perception of who The Rock is and who everybody loves is, you know, from wrestling and acting, and then kind of bringing what we have as individuals and kind of like the flavor of the show, which is very family orientated, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been a really, really cool journey.
Yeah, and what's the fan reception been like for you two? Have they been loving it? I mean, personally, as a fan, I've been loving each depiction of The Rock that I've seen. Like, you all have really brought so much to each character. So I'm kind of curious, what's the fan reception been like for you?
I mean, for me, it's been fun, you know. And I think a lot of people really love the Tomas of it all. I feel like anytime I get recognized in person, it'll be somebody just say, "Yo, Tomas," or something like that, you know. So it's just fun that people really love the shenanigans that, you know, Teenage Dwayne is up to, and people have been just so like welcoming for us. I've never had a bad interaction, and it's honestly just been a great experience for me.
Yeah, similar to me. It's been, you know, there's obviously diehard fans of The Rock. You know, one of the challenges that we've had for the show is we go through such a large period of time in such a short amount of time for the show's sake, you know. And so we're trying to cover so many things. So not everything is perfect, but for the majority of the part, I've received a lot of love. You know, a lot of people saying that they felt like they were watching, you know, their childhood hero again. So it's pretty special.
This is amazing. I wish I had more time to just like geek out about The Rock, but I believe we're running out of time. Uli, Bradley, Jeff, Brian, thank you all so much for joining us for FanFest 2023.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you all so much for watching us, and you can catch Young Rock on NBC and streaming on Peacock. This is FanFest, and we've got plenty more in store just for you. And for everything else, keep watching IGN.
That was Young Rock, streaming now on Peacock. If Dwayne Johnson's career is anything to go by, the first step to getting a sitcom based on your childhood is to become a famous professional wrestler. If you like to follow in The Rock's footsteps, here's an action RPG that lets you do exactly that. Not sure if you get a sitcom, but there's definitely wrestling involved. This is WrestleQuest, coming to PC and consoles this May. IGN FanFest is presented by The Last of Us Part 1, available on PS5 and PC, rated M for mature.
Have you been stuck on the same quest for just way too long? I just want answers! IGN's strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and of course, free. You can even track your progress with handy checklists if you go for 100% just like we do.
We're gonna be going over some sensitive material.
IGN has the very best, most complete, and accurate guides for God of War Ragnarok, The Witcher 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Genshin Impact, Elden Ring, and so much more.
I will require some time to process this information.
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You underestimate my power!
Don't try it!
Ow!
What the? And that's why we don't play in lava. You were the chosen one!
Wow, I love SpongeBob, and there's so much more where that came from, so follow IGN on all social channels. We've got video game previews, we've got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, what are you doing? Let's follow them.
Behind every game, movie, and TV show you love is a wild, crazy, and sometimes unbelievable story.
No one is just black and white.
From revealing the secrets behind your favorite franchises to solving a legendary video game mystery, I'm coming for you. IGN Inside Stories gives you a peek behind the curtain.
If people come to the game now and see what's going on there, I think they'll be surprised.
Join us as we dive into hyper-dedicated fan bases, worldwide phenomenons, and the most incredible untold tales in games and entertainment.
I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound so good.
It was definitely not what I expected in the best way.
Inside Stories, available now only on IGN.
Hey, welcome back! This is IGN FanFest. Now, we've been showing off exclusive trailers, clips, and gameplay demos, and chatting with the people behind some of the biggest upcoming movies, games, and TV, getting the answers to your questions.
And we've been giving away tons of free game codes in the chat. But if you want another way to win cool stuff, go sign up for IGN Rewards on IGN.com. And hey, if you want free games every month, along with lots of other great perks, why not subscribe to IGN Prime?
Yes, now coming up next, fans of the indie cyberpunk adventure 2064 Read-Only Memories have some more detective work to do in the upcoming sequel, Neurodiver. Let's take a look.
Existing only in memories is such a cold experience. But every time you appear, the barriers continue to win. I would not send you into this mission if I didn't believe you could handle this.
Whoa, this memory feels like it's happening days or even weeks later.
A breach in security has been identified in the psionics research lab. Level urgent.
Journal.
Looks pretty old. She looks familiar. You have a really nice view.
Sweet, you're here.
You just got a look at Read-Only Memories Neurodiver, proving that being a psychic detective is way more fun than being a regular detective. Speaking of mysteries, the hit Crunchyroll show Trigun Stampede has a couple of those up its sleeve, but the one I want solved right now is, what would it look like if my colleagues Akeem and Mitchell voiced a character on the show? Let's take a look.
It's cool. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
Try it again.
Bullets! I could really use some bullets.
What's going on? Help me over here.
But, It's cool. Happy thoughts. Gotta be one somewhere. Don't panic. It's cool. Super cool.
so good.
That was so amazing. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Akeem here with Mitchell, and we are currently at Dave and Dave Recording Studios, and we're going to be talking to the legend himself, Vash the Stampede, the voice, returning as the voice of Vash in Trigun Stampede, Johnny Youngbosh. How are you, sir?
Good.
Thank you for agreeing to do this. You know, we have some FanFest fan questions for you, but beforehand, Mitchell and I, we're fans as well, so we have some questions for you. First one that I have to ask you, when you found out the news that they were reimagining Trigun as Trigun Stampede, when you got that news that this was happening as a new anime, what was going through your brain? And then when you were approached to reprise your role as Vash, how did you feel?
Well, I didn't know it was a reimagining. I didn't know. I just knew that they were working on Trigun, and that Trigun, a new animation was coming. So obviously, when I first heard that, I was like, "Oh, sweet, that's awesome," because it's a special place in my heart for this one, for sure. For the character and for the series Trigun, it was the first thing I did anime-wise, which basically launched me into, the voiceover career that I have.
So one of the things that is particularly new about this reimagining is that it's a new animation studio in Orange who are very well known for doing this really crazy 3D but also 2D looking style of animation. What's your reaction to just seeing it in motion?
I dig it. I think it's pretty sweet. I am fond of the original, but this is a whole new feel, and it's just been awesome to get in there again. Now it's trickier because the lip flaps are a bit more precise, so that bit is like, oh, I got to pay attention, but I'm loving it. I think it's pretty sweet. It looks awesome.
You mentioned the lip flaps being more precise as like a challenge. 20 years is a long time in terms of technology and dubbing technology. Have things in the dubbing landscape changed from when you first recorded Trigun to now when you're recording Trigun Stampede?
Well, when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I just had, that was the first anime I'd worked on. Before that was Power Rangers. Yeah. And then
which wasn't an anime.
Right, which wasn't. But then and then I hit this point in my career after Power Rangers where it was like, I don't know if I can do acting anymore. I couldn't, there weren't a whole lot of half Asian roles, so I was sent out for Caucasian or Asian guy, and I just wasn't booking. And I thought my career was over. I thought acting was done. And so being able to get in there and do this opened my eyes to, oh, wait a second, I could do voiceover. This is something else, and so I could still act. And so it really gave me hope that I can continue to have a career and then explore acting. And so this being the first thing that I worked on and being able to come back, that it's a special meaning for me,
You mentioned something that kind of bleeds into one of our first FanFest fan questions. This question comes from guy who thinks he's cool. Guy who thinks he's cool asks, will I need to know anything about the 90s version?
I'm assuming it's going to take us to similar places, but they're going to be doing some amazing things. There's things that, when you look at the original animation, I mean, it's old, it's dated. There's certain things that they couldn't do then, that they're able to do here. It's like breaking new ground, really, for me, visually. I don't think so. Now, it helps me to know where I came from, to be able to add a little bit of that essence of who Vash was then, even though we're doing this whole new thing. I still feel like people do, those that have seen the original, I mean, you got both. I'd say watch both,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so our final fan question is from User RPG, who asks the question, how did Vash change your life as a voice actor, and what do you love about the character?
It's definitely impacted my life. Again, it gave me hope that I can continue acting when I thought that my career was done. It made me realize that, oh wait, I can do this. It doesn't matter what I look like. I can do voiceover, and so it took me a while to really kind of find, my groove, I guess, to really kind of like, it takes a while. It takes years, to develop, what this is now for me, you know. But that was the beginning. That was school for me, you know, it really was. I learned everything on the original series.
What a moron! Bullets! I could really use some bullets! A few 22 calibers would be dandy! Come on, guys! Anytime
It's cool. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Gotta be one here somewhere. Don't panic. It's cool. Super cool.
Try it again.
Bullets! I could really use some bullets. A few 22 calibers would be dandy. Come on, guys.
Okay, I think I got this.
Hurry up, help! Please, it's your boy. Need some ammo over here. What's going on? Help me over here. What?
No? Was that not good? That's my interpretation of Vash. I wanted to do something a little bit different.
Anytime now!
So,
What'd you think, Johnny?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, all right, that's a start.
It's not good either.
Okay, all right. Well, I wasn't hoping to hear that. Well,
let me show you.
Please do.
You almost have to sort of memorize as much as you can. You also need to know what all this means. You know, OM, open mouth. Whenever you see the things are underlined, that means you're not going to see his mouth moving. So that right there, you know, you might have a little more time or a little less time. So as they preview, you go through your mind, all of that stuff, and then you see, that doesn't fit, or I need to stretch it a little bit more. And then you look for the flaps, if there are flaps, to see where I'm going to have to hold that out, you know, or do this, because obviously this is in Japanese, so you got to find a way to make all these English words somehow work in between all of that. So, preview, and then you just time everything out.
So, I might be out of ammo? I like how you made it into a question despite the fact that there's no actual question mark there.
Yeah, so I mean, you kind of, you got to do whatever you're told first off. But occasionally you can go, let's see what this color looks like on it. You know? You also need to know how far you're away from the people you're talking to. And sometimes you got to project a bit more than maybe you feel comfortable doing. So you got to find out that whole bit too. This one right here is going to be all screaming. So this is going to be all out there.
Bullets! I could really use some bullets! A few 22 calibers would be dandy! Come on, guys! Anytime now!
So you know that you got to fit that in the flap. Yeah. See, the writer is just writing what they think is going to fit, what looks right, because they're looking at, you know, the lips, and they wrote in, "Your boy needs ammo," and I'm like, no. Vash, I don't think Vash would say "your boy."
I didn't either. That's why I went with Jay-Z.
But then obviously, you know, we can make an adjustment there. I think we'd do like, what was it? I need some ammo, maybe. Yeah, I need some ammo. And then they'll just, you know, the writer, whoever the director will come in there and maybe adjust some things in there. You can offer a suggestion.
Hurry! Help! Please! I need some ammo!
So good.
That was so amazing. Yeah, I was really hoping though to hear Vash finally say "your boy."
Your boy.
that would have made my day. And that made my day. Thank you. John, I want to thank you so much for talking to us. This was so much fun. Trigun Stampede is streaming right now on Crunchyroll and Hulu. Check it out.
That was Trigun Stampede. Be sure to catch new episodes every week on Crunchyroll. Next, 9 Years of Shadows is an upcoming pixel art Metroidvania heading to PC and Switch, and we can't wait to play it. Specifically, me. I see pixel art, I see Metroidvania, I play. Let's take a look.
IGN FanFest is presented by Company of Heroes 3, available February 23rd on PC.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That's actually my ringtone, and there's so much more where that came from. So follow IGN on all social platforms. We've got video game previews, we've got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, tap that follow button so I get paid.
The IGN Game of the Year for 2022 is Elden Ring, but I want to go ahead and talk about the IGN Game of the Year for 2023, which is, of course, Tears of the Kingdom. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Seth, Tears of the Kingdom doesn't come out for another 5 months. Well, I don't have to listen to you because you're not my dad. Tears of the Kingdom earned its title as IGN's 2023 Game of the Year basically the moment its 2023 release date was finalized.
Mr. Miyamoto, are we going to get a new Mario game next year? Oh, he's nodding yes!
Mr. Miyamoto, are we gonna get more DLC for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker?
Ooh, good question.
That would be wonderful.
Oh,
He's disappearing. Don't miss out on the chaos. Every Thursday, we get together to talk about all things Nintendo. Tune in and be part of the NVC family.
Hi everyone, I'm Phil Crifo, Game Director on Chia. Let me show you some of the really cool locomotion abilities and traversal options that we built to make exploring the world of Chia fun and rewarding. This is a game about exploration, so it was super important for us that moving around was intuitive, responsive, but also deep enough to stay engaging throughout the whole game. In Chia, you are not bound to design routes and areas. You can climb any surface organically, even at weird angles, and carve your own path through the islands. You can use the terrain's verticality to your advantage by sliding down slopes and use your glider to cover long distances and break your falls. Well, sometimes. Taking hits and performing intense activities will drain your stamina, but you can upgrade it by finding magical fruits around the archipelago. All foliage in the game is physics-based. Swaying on trees and catapulting yourself through the air is an efficient way to cover long distances. In Chia, you'll spend a lot of time in the air, so why not add a bit of style to it? You can do spins and flips, and even dives, if you're precise enough. We wanted to emulate the excitement of getting lost into a rich, unknown world. This is why we designed our map system without a player marker. We think this encourages observation and exploration, and makes finding a way around the archipelago much more rewarding. Chia can help you by guessing her general location, and using orientation signs will narrow down your position, forcing you to explore and interact with the world around you. To cover greater distances across the archipelago, you can use your trusty boat. It is easy to sail, but still requires you to be active, as you need to manage both your sail and steering paddle. And while exploring, you will also find docks that unlock fast travel destinations to let you get around the world faster. Let's dive into one of the game's most unique mechanics, Chia's soul jumping ability that allows you to take control of any object or animal in the game world. Early in the game, Chia discovers that she has unique soul jumping powers. Her left eye starts glowing and she is able to warp into nearby objects and animals. Some objects have different characteristics. For example, explosives can be super useful during combat, especially when used alongside soul throwing, a mechanic that lets you aim and shoot an object towards the target while regaining control of Chia on the spot. It's up to you to be creative and discover fun ways to use objects. Soul jumping into animals is also super powerful. Most of them have unique abilities that can help you with traversal, exploration, or are just great fun. Using your soul jumping abilities will deplete Chia's soul meter, and more intense activities will drain it faster. You can upgrade it permanently by consuming super rare fruits that will add a slot to your soul meter, and doing so, as well as progressing through the story, will unlock the full potential of Chia's soul jumping powers.
Hello, you are watching IGN Fan Fest, a massive celebration of all things games and entertainment only on IGN. Now up next, we're checking out Polite Society, the upcoming action comedy film about a stunt woman in training who has to beat the crap out of a bunch of bad guys in order to stop her sister's wedding. Now look, we've all been there before. Now let's take a look at Polite Society.
I'm pretty sure I drew blood.
Hey everyone. Polite Society follows an aspiring stunt woman who puts her skills to the test to save her sister from an impending marriage. And I'm so excited to be able to talk to stars Priya Kansara and Ritu Arya, as well as director Nida Manzoor. Welcome, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. I'm really excited to say we're about to debut an exclusive, never-before-seen clip. Nida, can you tell us what we're about to see in this moment?
Yeah, so what you're about to see is our two protagonists really come at each other. You know, this film is a love story between two sisters, and this is the moment where they are not getting along at all. Our younger sister, played by Priya Kansara, has been really annoying and has gone too far, and that has caused the older sister, played by Ritu Arya, to come and find her and is about to serve her the biggest ass whooping the world has ever known between two sisters.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see some kick-ass action. Let's roll it.
So you bumped into him at the gym, huh? Really?
No, I followed his movements and tracked him down. I wanted to meet him, seeing as he's my soon-to-be brother-in-law.
What did I tell you about staying out of my life?
Oops. I'm not gonna let you throw your life away.
He says he loves you and he doesn't even know you!
He thinks you're kind. I am kind. No, you're not. You're arrogant. You're egotistical. You're an artist. The sooner you get out of this Stepford wife Cardigan phase, the better for everyone.
That was a phase, Rhea!
This is me.
This is me!
The Lena that I know would never give up on her art.
No, boo-hoo, she did!
Why?
Because I'm not good enough!
That was amazing. Insane all around. How long did it take you guys to prep for this scene?
We started
stunt practice and fight practice like weeks before we started shooting, like maybe a month and a half or so, a month before. So me and Ritu were really lucky to kind of be able to like bond through this experience as well, like over the time that we had in like rehearsals and stuff. And yeah, we have some really intense fight sessions together, actually.
Yeah, I think we had like a week or so before we started shooting. And then, yeah, whilst we were filming, I think they would sort of take us away and we'd sort of practice it through and build the fight with sort of adding more ideas and sort of playing around. It was really nice to just get to be in a room with Priya and just hang out and play.
I think in the clip, specifically at that moment with the flat iron, when I first saw it, I was shocked. Their weapon choices, their fighting styles, it says so much about their characters. How did you capture their dynamic through the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you mentioned the flat iron moment. That was for me a must. My inspiration for this fight was, was drawn from so many fights that I love. The Daryl Hannah Uma Thurman fight in Kill Bill. Also, there's a fight in Haywire with Michael Fassbender and Gina Carano. These are like really visceral, intense fights, and where like stuff is broken. And I'm like, I want to have a visceral, intense fight, but it's about two sisters who are, love each other and who know each other so well, but who are at total loggerheads. And having a sister, I know what that feels like, and I wanted to show that feeling of sisterly tension and animosity through an action sequence. Stuff needed to be broken. It needed to be handheld to get in and amongst the emotions of the sisters, and I wanted to use as much of the actual location in the fight. I think fights that have really inspired me, that I love in cinema, are fights that really use the space. So for me, it was like, what can we wreck? And what says sisters? And young women. And so a flat iron is a perfect weapon.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that you bring up having sisters. I have sisters. And so I feel like I really resonated with, even though they're kicking each other's asses, like this does feel like a sibling argument. I think you captured that so well. Ritu and Priya, were there any particular characters you maybe were thinking about or had in mind?
I mean, we had watched bits from Kill Bill and The Matrix and Rush Hour, and so we were taking sort of inspiration from those films. And yeah, I've been fight training for a little bit with Umbrella, like season 2 and 3. So yeah, I had like sort of martial arts in me that I was sort of inspired to bring too. So I think, yeah, that's where it came from for me.
One of the other things that kind of comes to mind is, I don't know if you've seen the film Step Brothers, but there's a fight that happens in that, which is really hilarious because it's like the most ridiculous fight. It's like definitely more comic than it is, I think, as like horrific as this one is. But there's like this really fun energy that's built in that fight as well. And I really love that fight so much. In fact, I love that movie. I think it's hilarious.
I think also what's so fun about the film is this juxtaposition of the concept of a polite society with embodied by sort of the expectations that are placed upon the girls with the martial arts of the film. And like you said, you want to strike that tone where the audience can experience the brutality, but like it not feel sort of disconnected from the story like as a whole. So I'd love to hear you talk more about like balancing those things.
So glad you noticed that. And it's just like, can we use action to look at the pressures of being a young woman today? I think we can, and I hope we did.
If I had seen this movie growing up, it would have changed my life. Like, I found it so hard growing up and not having anyone that looked like me, like on my screen. And it was really isolating. I grew up in a town where there wasn't much diversity and at the time. And so I really suffered with like not being able to feel, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. And I just think watching something like this, I would have felt brave.
I'm so excited for more people to see it. So thank you all for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Polite Society hits theaters April 28th. Go watch it.
You just gotta look at Polite Society, the ass-kicking comedy coming to theaters on April 28th. We've gotta take a quick break, but when we come back, a few of us here at IGN got to visit Super Nintendo World, the brand new Nintendo theme park packed with Super Mario themed rides, shops, and snacks that may or may not contain a ton of mushrooms. We're gonna smash open some question blocks and give you all the answers you're looking for when we come back after the break, so stick around, because FanFest will return after this. Woohoo!
IGN FanFest is presented by TikTok. Share your favorite games and all the ways you play this February on TikTok using hashtag Let's Play. Tune into IGN 1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN 1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This? This is what to watch here on IGN 1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN 1.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
This is cool. It looks really appetizing, and I want to eat it. I'm sorry. It looks like a toffee apple or something.
I mean, can we afford it to give it to her?
No, I won't eat it. That's crazy.
Just the rest of my audience is so hard to hear. Wow, I love Karen Gillan. She's amazing as Nebula, and you know there's so much more where that came from. So follow IGN on every social platform. We've got video game previews, we've got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, let's hit the follow button, or else I'll get fired.
6 years ago, while talking about Sonic on Game Scoop, Brian, you had this to say.
At the point where we need to admit that this was never really a great franchise.
Nope. Wow. It was never really a good franchise, huh, Brian? Well, I'm sorry. We're well over, believe it or not, 100 Sonic games, 2 movies, a long-running comic book series, and 6 shows. When you besmirch Sonic, you besmirch everyone associated with Sonic, okay, Brian? Brian, I want to present you with this.
I will hold that L. I was wrong. I have since come around on that character. I have watched the movies with my kid and enjoyed them immensely. Sonic Frontiers is fun. I liked Sonic Colors. I liked Sonic Generations. I liked Sonic Mania. Something we can all agree on is that Sonic has been good. It's Crash Bandicoot that's never been good.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
If you enjoyed that, check out full episodes of Beyond, IGN's PlayStation show, as we talk, argue, and goof on everything PlayStation. New episodes drop every Tuesday on IGN.com and IGN Games on YouTube.
What's going on, Super Nintendos? It is I, Seth Macy, host of IGN's Nintendo podcast, Nintendo Voice Chat. Up next, a few of us here at IGN got to go to Super Nintendo World, the brand new theme park that is packed with Super Mario themed rides, games, shops, and snacks that may or may not contain an overwhelming amount of mushrooms. You probably have a few questions about all of that. So here is a quick AMA of all things Super Nintendo World. Wahoo!
Hello there, fans. I'm Benjamin Watts.
And I'm Jeffrey Vega.
And we were lucky enough to have gotten an early look at Universal Studios' Super Nintendo World, which is opening any day now. We rode the rides, we ate the food, we asked you what you wanted to know about it, you submitted some of your biggest Q blocks, and we're about to smash them with our answers. Jeffrey, what do the people want to know?
Media Viewer 7 asks, what was the experience like going in for the first time? Were your expectations met?
What was it like when you first stepped into the land?
It is a very wonderful moment that I will never forget, where you walk out and you see the entire land. Look, the land at Universal Studios Hollywood is small. It's in a corner of Universal Studios Hollywood, and you're just like, oh my God. It's tall, it's huge, it's colorful. That was the biggest thing, that I felt like I was actually in a Nintendo world.
Yeah, like I definitely had the expectations of what we'd known beforehand, that it was probably going to be quite small, but they really maximize that space. They really do. And if you are a Nintendo fan, stepping into that world, they did an amazing job with just the attention to detail, and you really get sucked in.
And it's really cool because like there's never been a Nintendo theme park in the United States, which we could have never imagined.
Now, Zonix asks, what is your favorite particular detail you saw at the Super Nintendo World Park?
I would say my favorite thing, it seems kind of obvious, but the question blocks, they're everywhere. And if you have a power-up band, you don't even need the power-up band, really. You can just hit it and you'll get coins, and you'll hear a coin sound effect. You could also hear the sound when you hit a block and it's done. There's no item in it. You can kind of see it all throughout the park. There's some that are, of course, reachable for you. There's some that are lower for, kids. There's some that are high up and inaccessible, and you can kind of see like shells kind of bouncing back and forth. It's very true to the game, which I really enjoyed that.
The power-up bands do play a huge part of your experience interacting with the world. And I think what you'll notice when walking around is the incorporation of classic music that seems to have been re-recorded to this very high fidelity, reminiscent of all those old songs. It's amazing. And how they've included separate games. When you enter Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, one of the first areas is based off Yoshi's Island, which for anyone who played that game back in the 90s or lately, it brings up some strong nostalgic moments.
Darth Eric asks, are those wristbands worth it? Seems like a $40 gimmick.
First of all, Darth Eric, they're called power-up bands.
But they are not worth it. Well, I'm just gonna say it.
Wow.
I want a full disclosure. Universal Studios did provide Ben and I with one for free. They are $40 plus tax. It's not cheap, and they are like a little amiibo puck, and they're a slap bracelet. So it is expensive for what it is like physically, but the technology behind it is really cool. So it has like a QR code that you can pair with the Universal Studios app, and you can collect coins in real world and like transfer them to Mario Kart, which is like, we could do a whole thing on that, which is really cool. Mario Kart from 2014 or 2017 technically for the Switch. Anyway, I think that they are not worth it, but I will say that anyone who's at this park probably is a huge Nintendo fan, and you'll probably get it anyway, let's be real.
TX Bull Taco asks, is there a Birdo? I love Birdo. Jeffrey?
This is a great question, TX Bull Taco. Thank you for asking that. We did not see Birdo. We love Birdo as well.
I mean, I'm indifferent to Birdo.
No, Birdo is my main in Mario Tennis. So
really?
I'm a huge Birdo fan. Unfortunately, we did not see her in the park. Maybe she was in, hiding somewhere, but we did not see her there.
All right, Chris Dosmill, I hope I'm saying that incorrectly, asks, can I enjoy myself with a budget of $50? I would say no. Especially if that's how you plan to get into the park. You're probably not going to make it through the front gate with $50, but if that's what you have to spend on top of a ticket, you can get a nice lunch. You can pick up something from the Nintendo store.
The burgers are like $17, which, park food is more expensive. Get a burger. They had like really fun like figurines and toys in the gift shop. If $50 is all you have, like you can definitely like get something to bring home with you and enjoy the food there. But if you're already there, you're definitely gonna be dropping some coin.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
All right. MXA Ghost asks, what was a hidden detail that a lot of people will miss? Wow. Yeah.
It is a very dense experience. There is a ton of stuff to see. So there is a lot that can be missed, even though it's not a big space. My favorite little hidden detail was what was like the ice mountains. Do you remember what that was called?
Frosty Glacier.
Frosty Glacier. There is, like you would see at any sightseeing location, they have those binoculars that kind of overlook the park, except it's a camera on one side, so it is a screen that you are seeing on yours, and it has augmented reality, AR effects. So as you look around the land, you'll see there was
Koopas
chain
flying
chomp,
around.
yeah, Koopas in the sky.
There was question blocks kind of floating around, and it wasn't like a fake digital screen. Like it was a camera, because I would look at the people in real life, and then I would look inside the machine. I was like, oh, there. Like I wish you had come down there so I could have like recorded you. And then you can even point it to the sky, and there's like a little like block with a beanstalk, and it goes up to the sky like in the games. And I'm like, oh, this is fun.
But you won't find yourself walking past it naturally. You do have to like see it, find it, and get to it. So that's something people could definitely easily miss.
Yeah, there's a fun thing where you can collect coins or you can collect keys with your magic power-up band. You can meet Bowser Jr., but I don't want to spoil too much, so you're gonna have to go to Super Nintendo World and find out for yourself.
Super Nintendo World opens soon, so if you have any more questions, you can go there, get them answered for yourself.
Hey, but we're happy to make the trip for you, so keep an eye on IGN for all the latest on what the park has to offer.
Wahoo!
No, we said no Mario impressions.
No, wahoo! What's up, everybody? Damon here from IGN Game Scoop, the only video game podcast. Every Friday, we discuss the latest gaming news, and when it's a slow news week, we talk about retro games. No console is safe, but it is FanFest, which means there's plenty of exciting new releases to discuss, and I did just that with the developers of the upcoming horror game, Homebody. Check it out. Goodbye, Dream Daddy. Hello, Nightmare Daddy. I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm sitting here with the developers of Homebody, the upcoming horror title from publisher Rogue Games, executive producers and co-stars of Game Grumps, Aaron Hansen and Dan Avidan, and the game's director, Jory Griffiths. Welcome, everyone.
Hey,
hi, Dan. Hello.
It occurs to me it's fitting that we're taping this segment on today, Friday the 13th.
My wife told me that. And I was like, whoa, I hope no bad stuff happens today. So far, only good stuff.
Only good stuff. First off, tell us what's the sort of, I've watched the trailer that's out there already. What's the sort of setup for Homebody?
It's a group of friends go out to a remote house. It's a very traditional slasher movie setup at first. Kind of more of like an existential angst, interpersonal ennui situation. And then the lights go out and somebody with a knife shows up. They all get murdered. And then the characters kind of snap back to at the beginning of the night with only the vaguest memory of what happened. And then the story kind of goes from there as a kind of classic non-combat survival horror puzzle experience.
Interesting. So like maybe 90s era Resident Evil type of experience?
Totally that type of thing, yeah. We've got fixed cameras, so it kind of feels the same way that did Alone in the Dark. PlayStation Clock Tower is a big reference point for the game, so that type of feel.
And aesthetically too, it's really, really beautiful in that way.
I wanted to ask you about the aesthetics. It does seem to have like a throwback kind of a lo-fi look. How did you land on that?
Well, yeah, the goal was kind of to recreate like the emotional experience of how those games felt, rather than like strictly going for that exact same like size of poly and texture resolution and the like weird jiggly PlayStation vertex effect. In addition to like those PlayStation games, there's a lot of like DOS game influence on it too, from like Another World and stuff like that. The goal is really like kind of putting the player in that retro nostalgic place, but sort of trying to update it.
All right, you guys have brought with you an exclusive trailer just for FanFest. Let's take a look. All right, very creepy. Tell us a little bit about what we just saw.
Basically, I mean, we saw a couple of good looks at the killer, a couple of little teases about the nature of the reality. We saw the protagonist, Emily, and her group of friends in a bad situation. So, and a lot of emphasis on the clock that we were talking about. Right. It's probably the worst enemy in the game. It's just time constantly moving.
It's the worst enemy in life.
Wow.
Wow. This is a bummer.
Very profound.
Aaron and Dan, has your history of playing horror games on Game Grumps helped with development on Homebody?
Well, that's an interesting question. I guess so, because I don't usually play horror games. So because we had played a lot more horror games just naturally on Game Grumps, I had a lot more to talk about with Jory when we would just kind of spitball ideas and stuff. So yeah, I guess so.
I deal terribly with them, just in general. Yeah, I'm scared of everything. And the funny thing to me is how Jory is maybe the sweetest, kindest guy I've ever met. And it's really awesome to see the horrors that lurk within.
It's always the ones that seem nice that you got to worry about.
Pretty sweet.
Okay, we're going to play a game. Keeping with the throwback horror theme, we have a segment on a podcast I host for IGN called Game Scope, where we zoom into games really close and you try to guess what the game is. Rules are simple. I'm going to show you a zoomed in screenshot. I'm going to ask you if you can guess which it is. If you can't guess, we'll zoom out a little bit, then we'll zoom out a little bit more. So.
These are all horror games?
Well, yeah, so these are all actually sort of retro
Either
okay.
straight up horror games or a game that had something sort of spooky about it.
Got it.
Game number 1, mystery game number 1. Any guesses?
Polygonal floor. That red thing is weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I'm bothered that the skirting on. I assume that's a wall corner, but maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm thinking too much.
Oh,
about
that
it,
it's
but
like off.
It's not parallel with
Yeah.
the floorboards. What's going on there?
It's well, presumably the floorboard is just like a texture that they just are running, and for some reason they cocked it a little bit.
Yeah. All right, let's zoom out a level.
Oh,
more
is this Mario 64?
It is Mario 64. It is Mario 64.
Wow.
So the thing that I thought was skirting was the side of the piano.
Yeah,
Darn
because it was cocked.
That
yeah.
piano did devastate me as a kid.
The piano's pretty scary.
Yeah, I was really bothered by it.
All right, that was a warm-up round. Let's move into round 2 here.
Growing a grandpa. I don't know how many people know that game.
Yeah.
It was scary though.
The black parts on the sides, I feel like are shadows.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, let's bring it out one more level.
Oh, baby, this is Silent Hill 2.
It is Silent Hill 2.
Hell
Wow,
yeah.
good job.
Well done.
Dang, all right, so that was Pyramid Head's smock.
Let's keep it going. So roll right into round 3. Ooh, this is going to be tough.
Is that... That's not Gray Fox from Metal Gear Solid, is it? Okay, no.
It's not.
That's a negative. It looks like an arm with like a t-shirt and then like a robot arm.
Like a cyborg thing underneath, yeah. Is it Olga from MGS2?
I think it's too low poly for that.
It's not a Metal Gear. Let's zoom out a level.
Oh, it's... Wait. Hold on. Let's be real about this.
It's Ocarina, right?
It's
not
yeah.
Majora.
I know, but like, why?
Because that's Link.
No, but he's Link in Majora as well. So like, which one is it? Is that like a master? It's not a master hand. Oh, it's the
floor
thing
master
in the,
or whatever,
No,
right?
it's the sewer thing with the hands that come out of the ground. That's Ocarina.
Yeah, it is Ocarina.
Yeah.
Good job.
You are correct. Yes, it's this
yeah.
nightmare fuel thing.
I now want to watch you play this all day.
Okay, final round. You guys have been doing a great job. Let's see if we can end strongly. Final round.
We cannot.
Resident Evil 4.
It's not Resident Evil 4.
Is it Resident Evil 1, the GameCube version?
It's not any Resident Evil.
Bloodborne.
Thank you for that. It was a very generous clue.
Right, let's zoom out a level.
Oh man.
Oh, my
Might have
goodness.
saved the hardest one for last.
Is that a UI element?
Yeah, there's a UI element. What is that?
Ooh, we got a better view here. Is that is the bottom right somebody's ear?
I thought it looked like a person. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
What game has UI like that?
Is this the House of the Dead 2?
It is not House of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead.
Smart. Wow.
Smart
great
looking
work.
boy. Enormous hair.
Yeah.
Great job. Okay, thank you so much for playing. Since this event is called FanFest, we did have some fans sending questions regarding horror game development for you before we let you out of here.
That's cool.
So Jaffs73 asks, is there a limit on how horrifying a game can be?
Well, I mean, there's like the elements of like aesthetics, right? Where it's like, this is scary, right? But then there's also the thing that's unique to games, and a game can scare you with the mechanics, right? Like you can set up expectations and then flip them on their head and stuff. Like some of the scariest games aren't even horror games. They're just games that put you in situations where you're terrified of what's going to happen next.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
One of the scariest games I've ever played was Doki Doki Literature Club, and that's like that. That it's because it sets up the rules of a world and then gets you comfortable with them and then changes those rules, and that's very freaky in its own way.
Lorenzo's 2003 asks, does making a game third person cause it to be less scary? Or is first person inherently scarier?
For a player like me, who's like more like, I really care about like the mechanics more than like the aesthetics or the narrative or something like that, it's a lot more effective when a game does something and I know like exactly where like the parameters of everything are. So like I know that this character is here and they take up like about this much space. So like if something's coming for me and is like X amount of distance away, like the sort of mental math that it takes in my head to figure out like, oh, I'm screwed, versus like first person where you're running away from something and you don't really know where it is or what's going on, or if this is just like a pre-rendered scene or something that's like, it's not going to actually get me. Like I think that's sort of scarier for me, in my opinion.
I think in a first-person game, it's great to have that little tiny halo in the middle of the screen that you can see. But then also, I guess in third-person games, having a flashlight that works in space that way sort of helps to create that. It's almost an illusion of first person because you've only got a narrow cone of vision. So you have to rotate to see more detail. That's probably part of it. It's a very serious answer to that question.
This has been a very serious interview, so a fitting point to end on. That, unfortunately, is all we have time for today. Aaron, Dan, Jory, thank you all so much for coming by. Homebody is coming soon to PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, both Xbox Series consoles, the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 5. Stay tuned for more details, and for everything else, keep it right here on IGN.
IGN FanFest is presented by TikTok. Share your favorite games and all the ways you play this February on TikTok using #Let'sPlay. So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, Power A, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
And then he leaves it. He's gone. It's like they just cancel each other out. The story starts and ends in those two mid-credit scenes for Venom Let There Be Carnage and Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, what if people left the theater? Yes, I know a lot of people know to not leave the theater for a Marvel movie, but sometimes people still leave and they don't know that that story happened. And what does this mean for the Sony Spider-Man universe? What is Tom Hardy's future in the MCU? Yes, Venom is in the MCU now because a little symbiote thing stayed on the desk with the guy who played Danny Rojas in Ted Lasso. And honestly, Spider-Man, are you even listening? You can use that Spider-Man swinging filter right now on IGN's Instagram. And in fact, you should follow IGN on all social platforms because we have video game previews, we have celebrity moments, and so much more. So let's swing with Spider-Man and follow IGN.
Oh! Have you been stuck on the same quest for just way too long? I just want answers! IGN's strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and of course, free. You can even track your progress with handy checklists if you go for 100% just like we do.
We're gonna be going over some sensitive material.
IGN has the very best, most complete, and accurate guides for God of War Ragnarok, The Witcher 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Genshin Impact, Elden Ring, and so much more.
I will require some time to process this information.
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN.
Hey, wait. Have you ever asked yourself this question? If we need to make mistakes to learn, why are we so afraid to make them?
Hey, welcome back. Now, IGN FanFest is about to become a fan feast because up next, we're doing some culinary combat with the team behind ramen. And no, I'm not talking about in the game either, with real bowls of real spicy ramen. It's the hottest interview of FanFest. Bon appetit.
Man, this is, you said, to be honest, like, I'm doing okay here up until that last second there, and like, let's start to kick in.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Benjamin Watts, and I am here with Eric and Dustin from Animal, the developers of the game Ramen. Welcome to IGN FanFest, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Don't get too nervous, because in front of us, you may have noticed that we have bowls of ramen. I can already feel the heat coming off it. Because these aren't just ordinary bowls of ramen. No, they're extremely spicy bowls. And to help heat things up for this FanFest, the three of us are going to take a bite of this ramen before every question about ramen. Gents, are you ready?
I think so, yeah. We have our lawyer here. He's actually not allowed in the room now for some reason.
All right, gents, chopsticks at the ready. Let's start the process. Cheers. Cheers. First bite, here we go.
Wait a minute, this is not even ramen. This is plastic.
Yeah, have it. Oh, here we go.
I'm getting
Okay.
It is spicy. It's a good spicy.
That first bite is.
Let's get into it. Let's start with an easy one, guys.
Okay.
Let me get a better bite here.
You're going for 2? That's it. Okay.
Means business. But let's tell us about ramen. Tell us about the game.
Still a napkin.
Yeah, go for it. So yeah, ramen is a third-person arena-based food fighter, basically, with emphasis on mess making and just kind of chaos.
Yeah.
It's just, all our weapons are food-based. Everything's food-themed.
Let me get some of this broth in here.
Well, I'm glad you're not, but I definitely am.
Get in there.
That's good stuff. Okay, tell me about some of ramen's influences.
Oh man.
And how you guys have put your own twist on the game to make it your own.
I mean, we definitely got a lot of influence from The Simpsons, like all the Matt Groening stuff, like Futurama.
Bam! Mein soufflé!
There's a lot of Rick and Morty references, and also like the Muppets. Muppets were like a big influence on the way the characters look. Oh, we like this like weird deadpan like thing going with these little characters here.
I love
feel like
that.
I'm getting the heat now.
Yeah, it's coming in. Yeah, I think also shows like Adventure Time, like the ridiculousness of that, like the Candy Kingdom stuff. It's also food based, so
Kingdom.
Yeah, it kind of falls in line with like our food themed world.
Yeah.
So we drew a lot of inspiration from that as well.
I love it. I gotta check it. I'm feeling some sweats coming.
I know.
down.
I'm getting sweats. I got the
seeing
beanie on too, but I'm seeing Eric in the corner of my mouth, and I'm like, damn, this is tight.
Yeah, Eric, you're handling it pretty well.
Well, I'm lying, so this is not good right now.
I'm like, can we keep going? Can you push through?
Yeah, let's
get some more in there. We'll get some noodles.
Let's do another one here.
Another big. Like, also, we'll say the influence too. Like down the street from where we are right now, there's a place called Sujita Annex. That's where the game was actually came up with.
Oh no.
We were eating ramen there, and we're like, yo, this. We're like, oh man, that'd be cool to make a little ramen shop game where like a shamisen is playing, and people are like being hurried out of the restaurant.
So
and then
yeah.
we made it, and it sucked.
And we pivoted to make it more like food, like mess making themed and more like chaotic. So like that's where we conceived it. Had a horrible idea and then pivoted to this.
Yeah. When we say horrible, we mean that.
I mean, it was bad. Yeah.
Listen, I feel like you are hearing the music in your head because you're plowing through
I
it
was gonna
quick.
say I'm actually
Why?
Well, I'm actually hungry. It's here in front of me. I'm eating. It's 2:00. It's my feeding time.
Have you guys been taking in the broth? Maybe you're gonna push that extra level?
No. I'm definitely feeling it.
Let's see. I want to see you guys take a sip. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna antagonize.
All right, I'll do a sip.
I can't be the only one with the burning lips of death over
No, I'm
here.
definitely feeling it.
Really hits the back of the throat. Yep. If you can see this, you can see the ramen. Might be gross. This is not ramen. This is blood. That's what's happening to me right now.
Is that what this is?
My face is on fire. Now, were there any specific design elements from similar games that you wanted to avoid in ramen?
There was a lot of, essentially playing a lot of other games. Like I got cussed out pretty hard in like tournament modes and all these things. So we wanted to make something that wasn't so like intense. And it's like, we could laugh about dying, because being cussed out. And like people leaving.
I think the stress of highly competitive multiplayer games is something we really wanted to avoid when conceiving this. So we didn't want to punish people for dying or just performing badly. We wanted it to be kind of funny and fun and just have an overall more uplifting experience.
Have a good time.
Yeah. So like that's kind of like our core design, to not focus on that. Just focus on just like the fun, the mess making, just doing goofy things all the time and not being punished for it.
Now, I know you guys said that you pivoted away from your original idea. Now, when coming up with the game, was there any fat that you had to cut, whether it be characters or other elements or game modes that you just like?
All the time. Yeah, like we really listen to the community. We have like we're doing like some open tests a little while ago. And we'll have like a survey and kind of figure out like, okay, where we need to like maneuver. But then I mean, like all the times we're like following the fun, and we'll make something we think is cool, and then we'll put it out there. We're like, oh, that wasn't so good. And so like we just kind of like we'll snip it. We don't want to release something that's doesn't feel finished. I mean, it probably will still not feel finished because it's Eric and I working on it here.
Yeah.
But like I think we just don't want people going like, what the heck is this? So we put a lot of thought into everything, and we're making decisions too, like right now about some stuff that we might remove.
Yeah, we've cut game modes that we prototyped. We've cut like weapons, like those things kind of happen all the time. It's just
it makes it better.
It does, yeah. So we're really receptive to feedback from our community and our fans. Like, we love hearing from them. And
It's clear that you guys are putting a lot of care into the game just by you showing up here today and taking on this gauntlet. Now, I have one final question, but I'm not going to go into it without an absolute massive intake of this fire. Mainly because the voice in my head is telling me I need to do it.
Eat the egg. Eat the
egg. No, I'll here we go. Egg down. Easy. Okay.
I gotta be careful.
First time. I'm getting delirious at this point.
This is very good. Thank you. Thank you, by the way, for getting good ramen here.
And for the final question, the game has a full menu of game modes, such as clam chowder, meatball, and top ramen. Can you tell us which is your favorite to play and why?
There is there's in ramen, there's what kind of makes it I think stand out a little bit is that there is a thing called sudden death, where as you play, the winners kind of like keep advancing to the next step, right? But eventually we like turn you on your friends. So you're the group that you're playing with, whether it's random or people like from a group, you're turned on each other, and it's like you either split or fight, and you kind of don't know who's like voting what until you're in the game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fun little thing where, you know, you can kind of turn on your friends and make them fight for you and all that. Man, this is, to be honest, like, I'm doing okay here up until that last second there, and like that's started to kick in.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. The sudden death mode is, to me, the most fun just because it flips it turns everyone on their heads. It turns the game mode on its head where, you know, you had a team, you're working together, and now you get a choice to like fight against them and take everything, basically. So we really enjoy that aspect of it.
It's a fun thing. Eternal is, who's the weasel? Who's the weasel?
Yeah.
That's the best thing about playing video games is that sometimes your friends will make you the best enemies. So it looks like that's about all the time we have here. Thank you again, Eric and Dustin, for stopping by and eating some regrettably spicy ramen with me.
No, this has been good.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us.
Deliciously hot.
It is actually delicious.
No,
props to the people preparing the ramen in the back.
They're in here somewhere.
Ramen is coming to PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch later this year. And for everything else spicy, keep it here at IGN.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, that was a hot, spicy mess, but when it comes to ramen, that's pretty much exactly what to expect. Speaking of action-packed video games that involve burning stuff, the upcoming roguelite first-person shooter Witchfire is heating up ahead of its release later this year, and we've got a brand new look at it right now. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Adrian Chmielasz, and I am the creative director at The Astronauts. In this video, I want to show you how guns work in Witchfire. When you get a new gun, it's just a dead piece of metal. Let's take this hand cannon, called Hunger, as an example. It works as expected, can get the job done, but there's nothing special about it. Well, that's because its true power is hidden from mere mortals. All guns have powerful magic inside them, but only the witch hunters can access it. Let's see that in action. Hunger feeds on critical hits. Reloading it will give you as many extra powerful bullets as critical hits before the reload. So, for example, here I score 3 critical hits, then I reload, and now the first 3 bullets from the new clip have extra power. But that's just the first level of the hunter's attunement with the gun. The second level makes the gun even more powerful because that extra strength of bullets is no longer a flat increase. Now it also depends on the number of critical hits before the reload. Here's me scoring a critical hit, reloading, and firing that new extra strength bullet at another enemy. Nope, that was not enough to kill him. But now let's see what happens if I score, say, 3 critical hits, reload, then shoot the same enemy. There we go, this time just 1 bullet was enough. As you can see, this particular weapon is one for an eagle eye hunter because it can only sing if you hit your crits. But when you do hit them, you become a powerful, evil killing machine. And that's how the gun magic works in Witchfire. Thank you for watching, and by the way, yes, there's also the final 3rd level of attunement. And in the case of Hunger, it can do things like this.
That was Witchfire right here on IGN FanFest. Now, we had a lot of fun these past 2 days, but all good things must come to an end. If you didn't win any free game codes, that sucks for you. But you can go over ahead and sign up for IGN Rewards for a chance to win more, or you can subscribe to IGN Prime and get free game codes every single month, along with deals, special offers, and no ads.
If any of the games we showed off during FanFest caught your eye, head to IGN's Steam page and add them to your wish list. And if you want to see some of the highlights from our interviews, you can find them on IGN's TikTok.
This show might be over, but IGN covers gaming, movies, and shows all year round. So make sure you're following us wherever you like to watch or get your news.
And be sure to keep an eye out for our live coverage around big events like E3, San Diego Comic-Con, and Gamescom later this year.
So from all of us to everyone who watched at home, thank you for joining us. Now, without you, FanFest would be a non-fest. Now, we'll see you next time. Take care.
IGN FanFest is presented by The Last of Us Part 1. Available on PS5 and PC, rated M for mature. Tune into IGN 1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN 1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This?
This is what to watch here on IGN 1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN 1.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
Let's go.
Wow, I can't wait to see Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. And there's tons more where that came from, so follow IGN on all social channels. We got video game previews, we got celebrity moments, and so much more. So come on, follow IGN. Whoa!
So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, Power A, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
I love Splinter Cell. Conviction, which is probably my least favorite in the mainline series, only because it's more of an action game than a stealth game.
But you're right, it is more actiony. And you know what? I like that, Ryan. I think it's cool to have big moments where you can execute everybody in a room.
It's not an action game.
You can bust in, execute everybody in a room that you've marked.
I had to stop
and
myself
it's
from
great.
cursing.
But if you want the Splinter Cell
Look how
experience,
dumb that is.
it's awesome!